next 80 minutes or so. He's done wonderfully well since taking the Hoffenheim top job. And this is the really, really big league that he's playing in now.
And he doesn't seem to realise that Liverpool are going to be pressing the ball high up the field. They're going to make it difficult for his team to play out from the back. That's been the case so far.
Goal scored by the former Bayer Leverkusen midfielder. They will be Hoffenheim's next opponents at the weekend. Nice of them via social media to send a good luck message to their league rivals before the match. Can't see that happening with English Premier League teams. Henderson ignored the attentions of Gnabry. Wijnaldum turned out for a Liverpool throw. Seeking the advice of his experienced coaches, Dutchman Alfred Schreuder and Armin Reutershaan too. Wijnaldum was being held by Demirbay.
Still can't quite see the role that Kramaric is playing for Hoffenheim. It's hardly been involved in the game so far, as was the case last week.
Really well collected by Alexander-Arnold. Here's Henderson. Alexander-Arnold in the way again.
There's the pressing.
Henderson, who then started to press the goalkeeper, made Oliver Baumann hurry and waste it, really.
Well, crowds like sight in football, but they also like their team trying to win the ball back quickly, and that's inspired the crowd so far. Nothing gets a bigger round of applause than players trying to close down the opposition, following that by closing down the goalkeeper, making the opposition kick it away.
And they chant. Dejan Lovren. Over to Alexander-Arnold. Henderson. Alberto Moreno. Mane. Wijnaldum. Just lost control. It allowed Dennis Geigerin to win it for Hoffenheim, but he's been dispossessed now. And he gets a hold of Gini Wijnaldum to give Liverpool a free kick.
He won back possession to start with, and he was trying to shield the ball. And then it pitched off him by Moreno. Wasn't going to let him get away, nor Wijnaldum.
Germany under-19, who played at the European Championships in July. This is set to be his breakthrough season in the Bundesliga. Alberto Moreno. Active climb for it. Rolled nicely for Baumann. He's in a hurry to use the pace of Gnabry. Salah missed it. Kramaric. Missed out.
Yeah, I'm not sure quite where he's playing. He's started on the left-hand side, but not of a front three. Wagner and Gnabry are going to play up front to front two. Kramaric is drifting around in behind them, but if you are going to drift around and play as almost a spare player, you've got to get on the ball and make things happen. He hasn't done it in either leg so far.
He was the player who was guilty of a really poor penalty early on in the first leg last week. Comfortable save for Mignolet. Could have been a whole different complexion on the tie. Made amends somewhat by scoring the only goal against Werder Bremen on Saturday, coming on as a substitute.
Liverpool can switch the play at will at the moment. Playing with a very narrow midfield three, Hoffenheim. Any switch of play is causing them problems out to Moreno or Alexander-Arnold.
Firmino drops, and in a flash, either Salah or Mane are in from the wide positions.
Well, the two best passes of the game have both come from Firmino, just dropping that little bit deeper, seeing the runs of Mane. They've got the explosive pace to go beyond him.
Ronaldo's lost possession to Kramaric, who's beaten Alexander-Arnold, but not the covering Henderson. Covering is always a good word to use with the England international, because there aren't many players in the world game who cover more ground than he does in the course of a game.
And he's got an important role tonight, particularly when Klopp likes his fullbacks to get forward. He'll cover in behind them, get in between his centre halves at times.
Mane, he's covered plenty of ground in the early stages. Shot of those Hoffenheim supporters will tell you that it is a pretty warm and sticky night in Liverpool, but not quite as warm as some are making out. Oh, to be young again. Emre Can. Firmino. Firmino's done well, and he teed up Wijnaldum, and Salah, well, the flag stayed down. It is 2-0 Liverpool, and Mohamed Salah has his first Anfield goal for the club. And you really cannot see Hoffenheim coming back from this now.
Once again, it's good play from Firmino. He runs at the defender, picks out the right pass. Wijnaldum just standing on the edge of the box. He's certainly not offside. It's a good decision by the assistant referee. And it's a fairly simple chance. Has to react quickly with his left foot past the goalkeeper. They've been brilliant right at the start of this game, Liverpool.
He had a good long look, as though he was half expecting the flag to be raised, but he was always onside, and I think his side have just about had it. Liverpool 2, Hoffenheim 0. They have a 4-1 aggregate lead. Julian Nagelsmann was saying yesterday, oh, his team might be in here. Gnabry's gone down, and he went down too easily. There was nothing suggesting a foul there, and Daniele Orsato keen to make that point.
First time we've seen the front two link up with each other. Matic's trying to get back. The arm does come across him, but he goes down far too easily. Gnabry, not quite the perfect return from Wagner, just in front of Gnabry. Alexander-Arnold actually make the challenge, just coming back from his right back position.
Just going to make the point about Nagelsmann. He was speaking yesterday, and when asked what his team's plan for the game was, he said, well, 2-0 is the rough plan, 3-0 would be even nicer. There's only one way, it'll be 3-0 now, and it might be soon.
Hoffenheim couldn't win the game right at the start, but they could certainly lose it. Looks like that's going to be the case. Just haven't defended well enough. Tried to play out from the back and been caught on the ball. Not sure he's got his tactics completely right here, Nagelsmann. There's another ball in behind.
It's Mane. Here come the other runners. Here comes Firmino. Oh, it's an open goal for Emre Can to score his second, and Liverpool's third. They're absolutely destroying their German visitors this evening. This could be a big, big Liverpool win by the end of the night.
And this is the best goal of the lot so far. Really good link-up play. What a pass from Wijnaldum. Once again, Mane getting in behind the defender, Nordveit. And when the ball comes back in, it's another lovely little back heel and the perfect pick out from Firmino. Emre Can just arriving at the back post. Another simple finish, but great football from Liverpool.
Supervision from Roberto Firmino, playing a part in seeing his former club Hoffenheim pulled apart by Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool 3, Hoffenheim 0. We're only just about reaching the midway point of the first half tonight.
Hoffenheim are playing with a back three, but it's a flat back three rather than two and a sweeper. Centre half in the middle of them. Vogt isn't dropping off. Not seen the danger. Mane's made 3 or 4 runs in behind them. They've been all over the place at the back. Half in the middle of them. Vogt isn't dropping off. Not seen the danger. Mane's made 3 or 4 runs in behind them.
It's broken for Demirbay.
Been all over the place at the back. Half in the middle of them. Vogt isn't dropping off. Not seen the danger. Mane's made 3 or 4 runs in behind them.
It's broken for Demirbay.
Been all over the place at the back.
Mane to Moreno. Wijnaldum to Mane. Give a free kick to Liverpool. Advantage instead. Doesn't really work that way. A chasing experience this for a side that finished 4th in the Bundesliga last season, a side that is almost surely bound for Europa League football now. It should be their debut in that competition anyway. Mane. Trod on the ball rather than being trod on in the referee's view, and he was right there to see it.
Wagner came back and tried to defend against Mane, did a good job.
Demirbay, that's a good ball. Very coolly done by Henderson and Mignolet.
There you see Henderson, he almost got played beyond. There you see him going in between or into the centre-back position because Matip was caught up the field. Good understanding and reading of the game by Henderson.
Zuba, challenged by Alexander-Arnold. Nordtveit came in at pace to make sure Salah couldn't go any further. A Hoffenheim change already in the 24th minute of the match. Nordtveit came in at pace to make sure Salah couldn't go any further. If the numbers were Hoffenheim change already in the first place, or whether there was a change of mind of the match. Mark Uth has come on. Came in at number 19.
Change of formation, you'd think.
Havard Nordtveit, I thought it was him that had gone off, and the board said 21.
He also had number 5 up,
yeah,
instead of number 6. 20 run rather than 19. Apart from that, it was perfect.
About as perfect as Hoffenheim's defending. And for balance, we should say Liverpool's attacking, which has been quite brilliant.
Exactly what Klopp would want from his team. Forward football, forward passing, forward movement, played at a high tempo, penetrative play.
Well, Mark Uth was the striker who came on in the first leg to score and keep the tie just about alive. Here's Gnabry. Gnabry in to beat Mignolet, but beat the post as well. When those aren't going in, well, it suggests that not a lot will for Hoffenheim.
Well, this is good football by Hoffenheim. Look at the run. He's onside. Gnabry, Alexander-Arnold doesn't see him coming. Doesn't open up his body. Just tries to take it with his left foot, the inside of his left foot. Give credit to the goalkeeper. Mignolet got out there quickly.
Well, we should say that we're pretty sure there's no suggestion of an injury for Havard Nordtveit. It's just purely... well, I don't think it's with any real intention of getting back into the tie. It's damage limitation as far as Julian Nagelsmann's concerned.
Well, Nordtveit wasn't really doing a good job because he was asking Kadrebek to come back and mark Mane, and Kadrebek wanted to get forward as the wing-back. Nordtveit was tucking in so close to his other centre-half, it just allowed lots of space for Mane to run into.
He's going to have red-themed nightmares, Havard Nordtveit. It's only his 4th appearance for Hoffenheim, having joined them from West Ham in the summer. Here's Demirbay, and Demirbay has it back again. And Mignolet prevents the ball from going behind for a corner. I was just going to say that Nordtveit's last game for West Ham was a 4-0 defeat to Liverpool.
Just starting to play a bit now. Lovely little 1-2. Demirbay playing the 1-2 with Wagner, tried to return the ball back to him. They have got some attacking quality, there's no question about that.
Mane. Alberto Moreno. Geiger stopped it, and Baumann pounced on it.
Well, he feels under threat, so he should be from Robertson. He's certainly making the most of it here. Moreno, good play. I don't think there's ever been a question about his attacking qualities. It's been his defensive qualities that people haven't always enjoyed at Liverpool.
Strangely, Andy Robertson is cut from the same cloth. Similar sort of fullback.
I think it's the sort of fullback that Klopp wants. People that can get forward, get crosses in, be dynamic.
That is just the modern fullback, isn't it, at most clubs now?
And that's why the wing backs and back threes have come into fashion.
There's Wagner. That one was stopped by the fullback, Moreno. An observation on the qualifying games I've watched in Champions League and Europa League. It might be the teams that I've watched particularly, Stuart, but just have a look here, see if Hoffenheim can come again with Mark Uth. They can! And Uth has scored. As he did in the first leg, he's left the bench to, well, give Hoffenheim a little bit of hope. It is only a little bit tonight.
And it's a good finish as well. Uth on the right-hand side. They are good in attacking areas. Liverpool, Lovren makes the mistake. Moreno's very narrow, he had to be. As they try and get back out to get the block in, Moreno can't make it, and a very, very good finish back across Mignolet. Just goes underneath the left leg of Moreno, past the right hand of Mignolet.
He still looks as though there's a bit of belief about him. Liverpool 3, Hoffenheim 1. 5-2 is the aggregate score. Well, Uth there showed Gnabry and co how it's done, because that touch to get the ball out of his feet and set himself up for the finish was brilliant. The finish just as good. And here they come again. Wijnaldum, it's just dampened the atmosphere a little bit as far as the home supporters are concerned. Referee's seen that. Geiger seemed to take out Wijnaldum. The pass forward wasn't close enough to Salah.
He's had a difficult game so far, Geiger. The holding midfield player, the youngster. He's been bypassed a little bit too easily. He's committed one or two cheap free kicks. Here Wijnaldum plays the ball and he just continues. No, that's got to be a yellow card. He blocks the run of Wijnaldum. And he gets it.
Looking for the teenager. Just making the point, Stuart, about the pace of pretty much every qualifying game for Champions League and Europa League that I've watched. It seems to have gone up a notch this season.
I think you can say that for most of football at the moment. From the games I've seen over the first 2 or 3 weeks of the European leagues. Hopefully more to come.
Gnabry, who's never lacked pace, pulls that back. And he had just strayed offside. Was a sprinter in his youth, Serge Gnabry. I remember in his early days at Arsenal, he made the claim that he's never lost a race.
There was a race between him and Hector Bellerin, I think, at Arsenal. That was the, along with Walcott, they were the 3 quickest players.
He's on loan at Hoffenheim from Bayern Munich. He's only just signed for from Werder Bremen.
Quite a good under-21 championships for Germany. He's always considered one of the bright German youngsters, but had that bad injury.
Quite a strange loan at West Bromwich Albion, where he never got a look in.
I'm not sure he's a Tony Pulis sort of player.
Liverpool just have to get themselves refocused here, because another Hoffenheim goal before the break will change the dynamic of the tie massively, but it might just give them a little more wind in their sails. It is still taking something approaching miraculous proportions for them to turn this around.
Good cover. Alexander-Arnold saw the run of Gnabry on that occasion. They're almost playing with a front three now, Hoffenheim, with Kramaric just in behind those.
To nearby. Kubner. Nearby. Asking rather a lot of Steven Zuber. Only 32.5 minutes played already tonight. Liverpool 3, Hoffenheim 1. You've come to the action late, you've missed quite a lot. Here's Oot. Did he pull his leg away in time?
Oh, I think the free kick may have been given the other way to start with. He was just clipped there, but Oot threw himself into the challenge. Matip had a little moan there. Actually, he wasn't clipped at all, was he? Henderson made out he's going to make the challenge. And he actually pulls out of it, doesn't he?
I thought he had. Pulled his leg away, but he was clearly impeding what Joel Matip was going to do. Apology accepted. The change certainly made a difference for Hoffenheim. Didn't hang about at 3-0 down. Mane.
It does mean now that Kaderabek has got a job to do. He's up against Mane. Beforehand, neither Nordveit or Kaderabek were quite sure who was going to pick him up and who was going to deal with him. He got between the two. Caused all sorts of problems.
Firmino. Back with Mignolet then. Looking for Salah. Geiger. Henderson just dug it out of his boots. Mane. Shifts the ball away from Kaderabek. Emre Can's on a hat-trick. Alexander-Arnold, Liverpool corner.
Well, the fullbacks have played a big part in Liverpool's attacking play tonight. There again, Alexander-Arnold getting forward from the pass from Emre Can. He's going to be the main target. Lovren's good in the air as well.
As far as Wijnaldum. This ball from Moreno, even better layoff for Salah. Firmino! Good block by Baumann. Mane. Mane's got the chance, and well held by Baumann.
Well, it was all started by this big crossfield ball, but this is the second chance. Mane tucking inside of Kaderabek, trying to bend it into the far corner. Here's the first chance. Big diagonal. Just onside. I think he was level with one of the defenders. Baumann, not for the first time.
What a layoff that was by Alexander-Arnold.
Every switch of players caused Hoffenheim problems.
Wijnaldum. Mane. And Sadio Mane was caught late. The referee straight in to give the yellow card to Pavel Kaderabek.
He can't challenge from behind.
Oh,
goes
dear.
right into the calf of Mane. That's a poor one.
Bit of feeling in that. Mane's okay. Managing a smile about it all. Well, Liverpool fans have enjoyed seeing that. Player whose season was ended on April the 1st last season with a horrible knee injury in the Merseyside derby against Everton. So they're delighted to see him back on his feet and not minding one bit about the rough stuff. He has become Liverpool's main man for goals.
Well, he combines everything: pace, trickery, good understanding of the game. Times he runs well. Not a bad finisher either. It's been an excellent signing for Liverpool.
Hubner. Gnabry beats Alexander-Arnold. Henderson's trying to get back. Gnabry always winning that race. Matip into the tackle. Ball behind for a corner.
I think Gnabry was hoping that Henderson would try and slide in there as well to break past that first challenge. Now as he's racing into the box, he really wanted Henderson to slide in and commit a foul. He's always going to run into Matip.
Another Hoffenheim goal now. It really does shake things up a little bit. It'll make it 5-3. It will be back to where they were at the start, needing 2 more goals. Headed away. Out comes Mignolet, and he just beats it to it and reacts well too.
You've got to get those absolutely right, and Mignolet did that. Good judgment of where that ball was going to go. He was going to get there first before Root.
Marcoot now has the distinction of scoring Hoffenheim's first ever 2 goals in European competition. Salah, he'll get that. Zuber with him. From Alexander-Arnold again. Henderson. Hubner was adamant that it should be a goal kick, and that's what he'd got.
I think he might be right as well.
Lorenzo Manganelli, the man with the flag.
First time we've really seen Henderson try and break forward.
Missed by Matip. Mark Oot. Serge Gnabry. Could shoot from here. Does shoot. Well, it only needed a touch.
Well, he's proven a bit of a dangerous player now for Liverpool. Cutting inside, trying to bend it into the far corner. I think the players at the far post were worried about running offside. That's why they didn't make the effort to get there. Kramaric was the last player. I think he's better suited out in the wide areas as he is now, playing on the wide left. It's going to be a good battle between him and Alexander-Arnold.
Coming up to 41 minutes played. What do you do if you're Jurgen Klopp, Stuart? Because we know Liverpool's strength, it's all about attacking. Here they go again with Mane. Firmino. Firmino wanders through, but only so far. Kramaric. Geiger. It's cut out by Matip. Wijnaldum. Mane. Look at the room that Emre Can has got. And he only misses his hat-trick goal by a couple of feet.
Well, I don't think Mane realises he's there. Mane wants to get it onto his left foot. Kaderabek has to go really narrow. Emre Can, not for the first time, breaking forward into open space. It's almost a clever finish from him. You asked me the question.
I was just going to say, what do? Do they try and close the game? Most teams would.
I think they've got to play the way they normally do, but I would just play one of the other midfield players a little bit deeper. At the moment, they're playing with just Henderson as the holding midfield player, and both Chan and Wijnaldum are making forward runs. I think they need to give themselves that little bit more assurance that when they do break forward and lose possession, they've got two holding midfield players. Still get their fullbacks going forward, still do the things they want to do attacking in the attacking sense, but just have that little bit more insurance when they do lose possession.
Where's the fun in that, though? Great fun to watch so far.
It's only a slight adjustment. Wijnaldum is breaking forward. Emre Can is breaking forward. He's scored a couple of goals already. Does leave Henderson maybe slightly exposed in midfield.
He's got 2 goals in games before, but I don't think Emre Can will ever have a better chance to score a hat-trick than in this one. Landing from Lovren.
So certainly for the German national team and for the under-21s and under-19s before that, often played as a holding midfield player, often played as a centre-back in a back four.
He's done that for Liverpool too.
Usually in a back three for Liverpool under Brendan Rodgers, I think it was.
Red Sky at night, Anfield delight. What a sight that is.
Hasn't been a bad sight on the playing side as well. It's been an excellent first half. Great creative football. Lots of athleticism.
Gnabry. And it has come to Mark Uth. Couldn't get his shot across Mignolet this time.
You're absolutely right. That's exactly where he had to play it. It needed to be the same shot as the goal. Mignolet made a save at the near post. It looked as though he did with that left hand.
Yeah, he very casually went to gather the ball, the Liverpool goalkeeper. And he certainly touched it behind, trying to kid everybody.
I think he was probably trying to go for the far post. He didn't quite get it right. Uth.
The difference is made to Hoffenheim, though. Demir by to Gnabry. Gnabry shifts it away from Mane. And then too close to Alberto Moreno. Geiger. Half time's coming, but it can hang on as far as we're concerned. Henderson. Mane gets the ball from Firmino. Emre Can through towards Mane, and it just rolls away.
Plays it square, goes for the return pass, just about offside. Ball had a bit too much pace on it as well, but brilliant movement.
Geiger. Invoked. It's 40 seconds or so of the half then.
Something I'm sure Jurgen Klopp will talk about at half-time is the runs of Gnabry. Alexander-Arnold and Matip have got to be talking to each other because Gnabry's trying to make those little diagonal runs inside the fullback and behind Matip. It's been the biggest threat since they've changed the system.
Between Henderson and Demir by close quarters has seen the Liverpool captain get a yellow card.
I think the referee was just indicating that he lifted his foot here, Henderson. Well, he hits the ball, but he then stands on Demir by. Not sure there's too much you can do about that. If you're kicking through the ball, your follow-through is going to take you onto the other player.
Can't afford to do it again. Just about time for Hoffenheim to loop this one up towards the box. Karim Demirbay will do that. Rather a theatrical fall, and it will be the last action of a high.
Guy and Stuart, thank you so much. So Liverpool ahead at the break and 45 minutes away from the Champions League group stage. Highlights from all the action across Europe coming your way next.
This match is brought to you by Heineken, UEFA Champions League sponsor.
The old rules of TV are no longer with us. We're watching here and here and here. This is live TV. And we can store more shows than you could ever watch. We can even watch on 5 devices all at once. The rules of TV have changed. It's time to change how you get it.
PlayStation.
What is different? It comes from sidestepping the ordinary, going beyond, and doing more. Introducing the new BlackBerry Key 1, built to do more, different.
With dominance comes expectation to thrive day in and day out. With the playoffs on your mind and a target on your back, will you give in to the pressure or will you fight? Mets, Nationals, followed by Royals, Indians. Saturday starting at 3 Eastern on FS1.
What if I told you that you could start relieving your joint discomfort in just 1 week? You'd have every right to be skeptical, especially if you've been disappointed by joint supplements in the past that failed to give you the relief you need. So we're going to prove it to you by sending you a complimentary 2-week sample of fast-acting Instaflex Advanced, the #1 selling joint supplement at GNC. Instaflex Advanced is #1 at GNC because it can start relieving your joint discomfort in a few days. And right now, we're offering adults a complimentary 2-week sample as part of a nationwide giveaway. To claim your sample, text PASS to 231231. Fast-acting Instaflex Advanced is great for your aching knees and joints, and it can start relieving your discomfort in just a few days. Complimentary samples are not available in stores. Claim your complimentary 2-week sample by texting PASS to 231231. That's PASS to 231231 for your complimentary sample.
The Champions League playoff round reaching a dramatic conclusion. Sporting right now advancing on away goals. CSKA Moscow getting the result that they need against visiting Young Boys, while Copenhagen able to level their tie against Karabakh. Welcome back into the studio. Ian Joy, Warren Barton, Brad Friedel and Alexi Lalas with you. Liverpool seeking to move on at the expense of German side Hoffenheim. Let's check out the highlights from an eventful first half at Anfield. Terrific atmosphere on display. Jurgen Klopp, the two Germans coming together. There is Julian Nagelsmann giving a quick handshake. 10 minutes on the clock. Emre Can.
Breathtaking. Vulnerable. Hoffenheim on their defensive right-hand side. Mane and Emre Can composes himself. He might get fortunate with the ricochet, but they dominated early moments, whether it's the midfield, the movement. But Mane on this left-hand, it happened away from home. He's got blistering pace. Defenders are backtracking, but Can here, I like he wants it first of all. He doesn't get it, so he keeps moving. Gets himself a little bit of luck and tucks it away, but they've been outstanding.
8 minutes later, Mohamed Salah gets in on the scoring act.
Again, up the left-hand side for Liverpool. This time it's Firmino. Plays it in when Alden. Unlucky it comes off the post, but definitely was onside. Salah for his first goal.
143 seconds later, this happened to make it 3-0.
Guess what side it came on? Yep, that's the left-hand side. Another nice little back heel, and Firmino just a beautiful little chip across there. Can, you can see it again. Off to the races. Boom, 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 boom. Get to the ball.
What's that?
That's expert analysis there, Warren Barton. There we go. Chip across the far side. Flying right now.
I thought it was Germans with expertise, technique in their cars. 28 minutes on the clock. Hoffenheim pulled a goal back to make it interesting. Liverpool awful defended.
Lovren again. It's sloppy. No need to do that. They give the ball away, and it gives them a lifeline. But after 30 minutes, he made the adjustment, the young substitution. They come back in the game. But Lovren, just clear your lines.
Mark Uth off the bench in both games has now scored in both games. Over in FS2, CSKA Moscow looking to protect a 1-0 lead. They managed to double their lead.
Yeah, probably thought that this would be a little bit easier tie than it has been. They have struggled to break this Young Boys team down. Little flick on there. But if you look at the numbers in the box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
2-0 on aggregate. Shenikov with his first ever European goal. Steaua facing Sporting after a scoreless first leg draw. We got goals in this one.
Well, the ex-Barcelona man, Jeremy Mathieu, flicks it on to the man who replaced Bastos Doumbia. And that is a big goal for Sporting away from home.
That's his first goal for Sporting, and 20 minutes on the clock. Junior Moraes, the Brazilian, also his first goal for his new club.
And a good response by Steaua Bucharest. That sends his crowd into a frenzy. 1-1.
Copenhagen hoping to overturn a 1-0 deficit against Karabakh.
Well, in my expert opinion, they're going to have to score a goal. Hey, look at that!
Textbook goal as well. How about that? 45 minutes on the clock. Federico Santander giving Copenhagen the very important lead. It's 1-1 now on aggregate. Emre Can found the back of the net just 5 times in all competitions last season, but the German on target twice against Hoffenheim today. The second half from Anfield still to come.
ProPlan Brightmind Adult 7 Plus promotes alertness and mental sharpness in dogs 7 and older.
The difference has been incredible. She's much more aware. She wants to learn things.
Purina ProPlan Brightmind, nutrition that performs.
You could be my love, even if the sky is falling down. I know that we'll be safe and sound.
So many Americans struggle with finances. Starting today, State Farm is here to help, giving us all the chance to simply sit down and learn. Visit letstarttoday.com or talk to an agent.
We're safe and sound.
Love it, shop it, own it. eBay Fashion.
We don't just want to watch the games cable gives us. We want all the teams, no matter where we live, with DirecTV NFL Sunday Ticket. We want Falcons in New York. Jets in LA. Bears in New Orleans. Or Buccaneers in a quaint little New England bed and breakfast.
Can you please pass the marmalade, Charlie?
I sure can, Crazy Pirate.
Switch to DirecTV and get every game every Sunday with NFL Sunday Ticket. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
If a quarter pound of beef is your favorite thing, you can still come to Arby's. Just eat half of one of these. Arby's, we have the meats.
Hurry, it's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Shovel.
Mulch.
Brick pavers.
Fence post.
Concrete.
We're good.
And wood for my castle.
We got it.
And a slide and a drawbridge.
Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. It's our best offer of the year on F-150. Get 0% for 72 months plus an additional $1,000 on top of your trade-in. Now get the built Ford Tough F-150 with 0 for 72 plus $1,000 on top of your trade-in. Hurry, the Ford Summer Sales Event and this deal ends September 5th.
Introducing Hut Rewards from Pizza Hut. Finally, a rewards program that gives you points toward free pizza with every $1 you spend online. And get unlimited double rewards through October 1st. Don't settle for a piece of the pie. Join Hut Rewards today and earn free pizza faster. That's why no one outpizzas the Hut.
Round 2 of the Bundesliga gets underway this Friday with Cologne welcoming Bobby Wood-led Hamburg to the Rhein-Energiestadion. Coverage of that one begins at 2:20 p.m. Eastern on FS2. Then plenty more action on tap on Saturday, including Werder Bremen playing host to Bayern Munich on FS1, while Leverkusen set to battle Hoffenheim on FS2. While back on FS1, Christian Pulisic-led Borussia Dortmund will square off against Hertha Berlin. Our focus right now is on the Champions League playoff round with the likes of Liverpool, Sporting and Apoel all 45 minutes away from advancing. The second half of your match is coming your way next.
No one knows where it comes from. Why some have it and some don't. It's
the fighting spirit. It consumes fear and weakness. It stands ready to fight whatever shape the battle takes. Because as long as there are battles, there will always be Marines.
These are Domino's all-new Parmesan-dusted, garlic-seasoned, and cinnamon-sprinkled bread twists. How did we come up with such a clever name? We'll never tell. Choose any two of Domino's new bread twists or medium two-topping pizzas for $5.99 each.
How do you want to live? As a decent person? Good husband? Is that it? Good? Of course not. King of the hill? Better. Top of your game? Win. All-powerful. Like a boss. Like a pro. We couldn't agree more. We are professional grade. Step up to GMC and get over $10,000 total value on specially equipped Sierra Crew Cab SLT vehicles. We are professional grade GMC.
Americans, 83% try to eat healthy, yet up to 90% fall short in getting key nutrients from food alone. Let's do more. Add One-A-Day Men's, complete with key nutrients we may need, plus heart health support with B vitamins. One-A-Day Men's in gummies and tablets.
Don't miss MLS Heineken Rivalry Week. Where do you stand? Sunday on FS1, it's LA versus San Jose, followed by Seattle versus Portland.
Oh my gosh, that's Frank Thomas. No. Yes, that's him. Go ahead. Excuse me, are you Frank Thomas?
Yes, I am.
I bet you get recognized a lot.
I was a pretty good ball player.
You were?
Some people thought so.
Sorry, we recognize you from those Nugenix commercials.
Oh, yeah? That's great.
So does Nugenix really work?
Oh, yeah. I really can feel the difference. My workouts are better, and I feel a lot more energetic.
I wish my husband would use Nugenix.
It's so easy to get started. All you have to do is send one simple text.
Text 42424 and enter IDEA for a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Its unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate.
And you're going to like the difference, too.
Text 42424 and enter IDEA for a complimentary bottle of Nugenix. Samples are not available in stores. Text 42424 and enter IDEA.
This match is brought to you by Nissan, UEFA Champions League sponsor.
This season's Champions League group stage field will be complete after today, setting up tomorrow's draw, which you can catch at 11:55 a.m. Eastern on FS2 and Fox Sports Go. Liverpool likely to be involved. They lead Hoffenheim 5-2 on aggregate right now. Brad Friedel, things are looking pretty good for Jurgen Klopp right now. What did he need to do in the second half to see the job out?
Yeah, they're looking very good. However, towards the end of that half, Hoffenheim started getting some chances. When they took Nordvedt off, put Kaderabek back at one of the center-back positions and brought on Ut, it's caused Liverpool some problems. So they're not out of the woods yet. They got to start quick and try to do the same type of starts with the energy that they did in the first half.
Alexi, is it over for Hoffenheim?
Yep.
Thank you very much. Just about ready for the start of the second half. Let's send it back out to your match commentators, Guy Mowbray and Stuart Robson, standing by.
Reply, but that's most in question. Liverpool would get things going. 11 against 11 on the field. I say that because if any of you were across the Nice-Napoli second leg last night, at the beginning of the second half, there was an almighty row involving one Mario Balotelli, ex of Liverpool. He's been told to get rid of some adornment on his wrist. He was off the field when he went down and scored. Here's Mohamed Salah. Firmino. Mane returned the ball to the Brazilian. Wijnaldum, it nearly broke for Salah, and both was rather fortunate. in the way that went back to his goalkeeper, because I don't think the captain really knew where it was going. Once again, good attacking play from Liverpool. Firmino involved by now to making the run into the box. They've been very good, particularly down the left-hand side. Mane and Moreno linking up with each other. Mane. Matted. Vogt is in charge of that situation. He's had a very good game, Firmino, dropping that little bit deeper at times. Known as the furthest forward player right at the start of this second half, but so often drops into midfield and allows Salah and Mane to run beyond him. Two great deliveries in the first half to put in Mane. Wagner has won a corner, and he had to work to win it. I've seen a lot of Wagner in the game so far. Big centre forward who is good in the air, links up the play. The self-appointed best German attacker for a while now. His words. They need him to be in this second half. Tall enough. Corner not good enough from Demirbay. Salah. Mane. Could be 5 against 3 in Liverpool's favour here. Mane actually didn't shift the ball quickly enough. Something that Liverpool have done right from the start. Just slowed everything down. Mane took too many touches there. 3 runners going beyond him. Over to Alexander-Arnold. Lovely ball in. Just nobody there to attack it properly. Really good delivery. Alexander-Arnold. All the time in the world to pick out the cross. Firmino, the player, trying to get in between the 2 defenders. All this excitement has done around Anfield tonight. Stop any conversations about Philippe Coutinho. The will he or won't he go to Barcelona saga rumbles on. Liverpool apparently expecting a 4th bid, which they will reject. The report now seems to be that Coutinho's almost been put up to it, badly advised, and will be a Liverpool player by the time the Champions League proper kicks off, and they are almost sure to be in it. But he does add something slightly different to the attacking players that are on show tonight. He's the one that can pick out those passes. He can just duck infield and put shots away. Mane, Salah, the runners. Works well back too. Great bit of defending. Saw the run of Kaderabek. Salah. Flag up. Once again at the start of this second half, they're very flat, Hoffenheim. A bit lucky with the offside here. He is offside, but they didn't try and play him offside. There were quite a few Liverpool supporters who felt that that was passed that way by Kevin Vogt. That's why they just held back. Thought that Salah might be running through. Was the right decision. They've not missed Coutinho tonight, that's for sure. Offside given. Well, he made his change, didn't he, halfway through the first half. Realised things weren't going his way. Very easy to see things weren't going his way. They were 3-0 down. He changed the system. Brought on Ut for Nordveit. Firmino did well to keep his feet. Couldn't do that after being body checked by Kevin Vogt, who's saying that's my first one. The referee's not bothered about that. He thinks that one was worthy of yellow. And also Firmino was away here. Great first turn. Now he knocks the pass. Vogt is the last defender. I'm not saying it should be a sending off, but he knew exactly what he was doing here. Stepped across Firmino. Quite right, he gets the yellow card. As clear one as you'll ever see. He's been a very important player for Hoffenheim. The central defender. Playing in the back 4 now, starting in the back 3, the central player. Very good on the ball, likes to come out with it.
lacks that little bit of pace.
Henderson. Captain has it again. Mane, he's breezed past Kaderabek. Liverpool corner.
Great change of pace from Mane. Not sure about the defending. Kaderabek must know that he's going to be run down the outside. Didn't seem to be aware of that already for it.
Not ready for the short corner either. Now it's played in towards Matip. Any sort of direction on it. The England manager is in the house. Gareth Southgate with his assistant Steve Holland sitting just behind Liverpool royalty, the great Kenny Dalglish, and Gary McAllister there too. The centenary stand is soon to be named the Kenny Dalglish stand, part of marking Liverpool's 125th anniversary. This great club's first game, 1st of September 1892 at Anfield, 7-1 win against Rotherham Town. Mane. Alexander-Arnold. Fixture to mark the 125 years coming up at the weekend, the closest fixture to the date, because it's Arsenal at home on Sunday.
A big game for both clubs. Are they good enough to challenge for the Premier League?
A lot of people's top 4 predictions in the English Premier League this season have those two just missing out in 5th and 6th. It's two Manchester clubs, and Tottenham and Chelsea who are the main rivals, of course. Invoked, I don't think wanted that back, but he didn't really help out Zuba particularly.
Fired the ball down, he had nowhere to go, Zuba.
Alexander-Arnold. Out of play by Gnabry.
A really good battle down this near side between Alexander-Arnold and Gnabry. Gnabry would like to run the other way, but Alexander-Arnold is testing defensively.
Ronaldo in. Seemed to come off Bauman. Referee has pointed for a goal kick.
Oh, what a good throw it is. Lovely little 1-2. Salah just gets it back, holds off the challenge. Oh, it doesn't come off the goalkeeper, I think. Thought it did to start with. Just gets underneath it. Oh, it does come off the shoulder.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. That was going in. It's a good save and should have been a corner.
Didn't particularly claim for it. Might have done with the tie a little more in the balance. Bauman was never owning up to it.
That was definitely going in, wasn't it? Had it not hit him on the shoulder. That's where Wijnaldum's at his best, when he's breaking forward. He's got strength. He held off the challenge on that occasion.
Strength there too.
Newcastle probably didn't see the best of him when he was playing there.
Relegation season 2 seasons ago, he did manage to score 11 Premier League goals for them, though. Mind you, 4 of those came in one hit against Norwich. He's still got that curious record of scoring 17 goals in England's Premier League, and everyone's been at home. 11 for Newcastle, St James's Park, 6 here for Liverpool. Almost teed up for the nearby. Gnabry rolls one on. That was neither pass nor shot from Mark Oots, and it's about the first foot he's put wrong in either tie.
There's a mistake by Matip. I think he's trying to pass it into the box in the end. He's caught in two minds. Here's the change.
So Gnabry's off. Here comes Adam Zsala, the Hungarian international striker, who'll just add a little bit more power as a substitute for Gnabry's pace.
Well, it's a strange decision because Gnabry had done well when he changed into the wider position. He doesn't look too happy about it. Let's hope it's not that injury again. Look as though he may have a slight knock there, the way he's going straight down the tunnel. Physio's taking him down there.
Quite a long walk at Anfield, down there into the depths of the changing rooms now since the main stand was redeveloped. Strong run from Kramaric. Alexander Arnold went with him. Emre Can. Nice footwork. Wijnaldum. Onto Mane. Firmino's down the middle. Wijnaldum's getting there too. Mane. Stings the hands of Baumann. Looked as though he made his mind up as soon as he got the ball at his feet.
He goes down the outside of Heather Rebecca again. He's just trying to hit this with power. Anyway, he's going to beat the goalkeeper. So you see those go into the top corner.
Wijnaldum. Held back by Zsala. Firmino. Mane. Just caught a glimpse of the England national team manager Gareth Southgate. Well, on the field there are only two for him to watch at the moment, and he knows all about Jordan Henderson, one of his trusted midfielders. It'll be a fast track for Trent Alexander-Arnold into the senior setup.
You don't need to have too many good games if you're an Englishman to get a chance of playing for the national side. The right back spot that's, well, I'd say currently held by Walker and Klein.
They're injured at the moment, that's why the teenager's getting a game for Liverpool. Taking his chance brilliantly. Mane. There is a drop in the pace of the proceedings since half-time. Certainly in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Alexander-Arnold picks it up again though and drives on. He looked for a moment as though he was going to get all the way through.
And he's tried to win it back. He has won it back here.
Brilliant work to pitch it off. Hübner. Save was made by Baumann to keep out Wijnaldum. Alexander-Arnold was quick as a flash onto it again.
And then racing back into position. Look how well he does there. They were trying to claim it was a foul, Hoffenheim. Might just take a whack there, Wijnaldum. That's the closing down. And they lose the ball that Klopp wants from his team.
Team sheet was read out across the loudspeaker system before the match. Alexander-Arnold's name got the loudest cheer, but as he's been at the club since he was 6 years old, and as he grew up in West Derby, right near Liverpool's Melwood training ground, well, that is just how every supporter likes their players to be. They'd have 11 of those if they could. Kaderabek. Mignolet didn't get there, and he's lost it now. Phew. Something like that.
And that's why there's been question marks against Mignolet since he's been at Liverpool. Misses the punch. Then doesn't regain his composure here. Should have an easy catch. Drops that one.
Mane. Henderson looks the ball from Demir by. Here's Lovren. Just wonder whether Hoffenheim have realised the game's up, or whether they will have one last big push and really take the gamble of getting a swamping.
I still can't quite understand the substitute, unless he has got an injury for Gnabry, because Gemma isn't going to give them any great pace. He's a big centre forward, but he's playing in behind the main striker. Kramaric has hardly done anything so far in the game. Switch of players on if Matip can see it. He doesn't decide to go there.
This might sound a bit daft, but it looks to me as though Liverpool are in the most control that they've had in the game, even when they were racing into a 3-0 lead. That was a bit harum-scarum. This is composed. Command of the ball. Alexander-Arnold. Emre Can. Broken for Alexander-Arnold once more. He couldn't find Salah. That'll be a free kick for Hoffenheim.
He stopped the counter-attack there. I think you're right, Hoffenheim just haven't been able to keep up the pace in this second half. And it looked anywhere near as threatening as they did the last 20 minutes of that first half. Liverpool controlled possession that much better. Confirmation of that.
Henderson's got there and won it. There was hesitation from Kevin Vogt, and there's Firmino to roll in number 4. Roberto Firmino scores against the club with which he made his name in European football. That will, once and for all, guarantee Liverpool a place in the Champions League and put Hoffenheim into the Europa League.
Well, good closing down from Henderson to start with, but Vogt's got to go right through the ball. Just allows Henderson to get away, and he times his pass to perfection. Firmino was behind him, so he's not offside. Still a bit of work for Firmino to do, but just puts enough pace on it and puts it right in the corner. But what is Vogt doing there? You're the last man, you've got to kick right through the back of the ball, take everything out. Doesn't do that. And it's his mistake that concedes the fourth goal and definitely the game for Hoffenheim.
Selfish play from Jordan Henderson too. Playing the captain's role. Liverpool 4, Hoffenheim 1. Liverpool now have a 6-2 aggregate lead. Jeremy Toljan is on in place of Pavel Kadravec. And listen to the reception that Trent Alexander-Arnold is getting. A hug from the boss too.
I'm not sure he wanted the kiss, but the hug will do. What a performance he's put in.
Another accomplished display from the 18-year-old. It's a 19-year-old who's come on in his place, Joe Gomez, who Alexander-Arnold looks to have overtaken. Gomez signed from Charlton Athletic just over 2 years ago, and he started well for Liverpool, but then was hit by injury. First his cruciate in his knee, and then an Achilles problem. Hampered his progress. Salah, lovely little shimmy away from Zuber. Henderson closes down and wins again. Gomez to Matip.
Well, in Jurgen Klopp's eyes, some of the goals have been perfect from Liverpool. One in the first half from Emre Can, the combination play, the forward movement, forward passing, and then the closing down of Henderson for that fourth goal.
Janai. That's Toljan. One thing Hoffenheim will keep doing is keep going.
I think he knows the game has gone, but Toljan coming on at right back is a very good player. I saw him at the Under-21 Championship for Germany, winning German side. He was probably as good as anybody. Maraud in right back. It's a real battle with Kadravec. I don't know who's the best attacking fullback out the two.
By Kramaric. Zuber, Kramaric. That's the way from Shalai. Boat was a little stronger that time to stop Firmino. Toljan, Germany under 21, as you were pointing out, Stuart, but at senior level he could yet make the decision to play for either the United States or Croatia. He'll certainly play for one of them. Geiger just managed to keep it away from Salah.
One of those fullbacks who can play on either side as well. Seen play as a left back for Hoffenheim on several occasions. He's very young.
Vogt. Don't want to see goal number 4 too many times again. Gomez to Salah. Emre Can. Get these on the hat-trick. There was crossing. Here's the problem for Baumann.
Good play, Emre Can. Just changing direction, wrapping his foot round it before the defender can stick his leg out. Safe hands from Baumann. Made many saves with his feet, but good save in the end.
Stopped for a moment, or all but stopped. There's just a murmur. I think supporters just waiting for the next bit of excitement to get them going again. Won't be long in coming. Zuber. Nice little lift through. Kramaric. Zuber. Didn't cross first time. Nearby doesn't hang about. Mignolet's come for it though, easily gathered, and he's got Mane away. Nearly. Danger was well spotted by Ut. Geiger. Toljan. Demir by. To skip through the tackles. That was a good one from Dejan Lovren.
Needs to be as well. To time that right, Lovren.
Another Englishman about to come on, but one who has retired from international duty, which has been a theme in England today, with former captain of the national team Wayne Rooney announcing that he has played his last game in the shirt with the 3 lions on it.
He won't get his hat-trick, Emre Can. Here was his goal that was slightly deflected. Here's the one coming in at the far post. That was the best one from the clock. Great movement from all the players involved.
Did he shout, "That's football"?
I think he did.
And that's a good performance from Emre Can, as he makes way for James Milner. He thought he'd scored in the first leg with a cross. It took a big deflection off Havard Nordtveit, who was subsequently debited with the own goal. And as James Milner always seems to, he's come on armed with instructions.
Doesn't look as though it's going to be a straight swap then, because you'd imagine Milner would just come on for Emre Can in that right side of a midfield 3. Let's have to see what Klopp's changed here.
Milner coming on, we've all got a little bit of a sense of deja vu from a week ago, because Kerem Demirbay at about this stage went down for Hoffenheim and kind of hobbled his way through the rest of the match, and they've used all 3 substitutes, so he might be doing the same thing again.
European Cup winner Kenny Dalglish with that goal against FC Bruges at Wembley many years ago.
Oh, what a great European night for Liverpool. And then Gary McAllister played his part in the UEFA Cup win against Alaves. One of the great UEFA Cup finals.
The great thing about Gary McAllister, that all came in the sort of twilight of his career when he was over 35 at the time.
He's truly one of the greats of the game. Certainly, when you think about Liverpool Football Club, well, most people would have him at the very top of the pile.
Yeah, big act to follow, didn't he, in Kevin Keegan?
James Milner's got their number 7 shirt on now. He's won the ball to find Henderson. Mane. Wijnaldum. Just a return from Henderson. Tolyan clears. Geiger manages to find Kramaric. Gomez. Firmino. Moreno. Think about his performance with Robertson on the bench. You think about Alexander-Arnold, and now Gomez with Klein on his way back from injury. Liverpool look to have much greater strength in depth. Just that one possible cog missing in the wheel, an extra central defender, the Virgil van Dijk rumour rumbles on. Maybe another one will come in before the transfer window closes in, well, not long at all now, end of the month.
One of the things that's become fashionable these days is for the fullbacks to be rotated, because they have to do so much work going forward. It's happened at Tottenham. It did happen at Tottenham until Walker went.
Very much a Manchester City thing.
Yep. It could be the case at Liverpool now. Robertson and Moreno down that left-hand side. 3 choices at right back. Gomez, Klein and Alexander-Arnold.
Coutinho. Lovren heads away. It's a team that's also missing the energy that Adam Lallana brings. Nearby. Geiger. Hoffenheim feeling is that they just struggle to repeat their achievements of last season. Lost Sebastian Rudy, I beg your pardon, Niklas Süle to Bayern Munich. Oops, no way through. And Liverpool free kick. Every Bundesliga side seems to face if they're not Bayern Munich. A good win at the weekend against Werder Bremen. The support for every German team in Europe is always something to behold.
They certainly played their part in the atmosphere here tonight. How it affects their confidence going forward. They've been totally outplayed tonight. I thought the first game, they still came out of that with a lot of credit, even though they lost the game. This one, they were blown away right at the start of the game. Defensively, they were all over the place.
Still a quarter of an hour plus to go. See if we can enjoy some more goals tonight. Blocked that one with his hand. That's the scoreline story for you. 4-1 Liverpool tonight. 6-2 over the 2 games. It's just about a fair reflection. Milner. Salah. Geiger. He's grown into his first ever European appearance.
Lovren. He's made 3 or 4 of those challenges now. Lovren going in behind Moreno and getting the slight challenge in. He's very vocal in the warm-up, as you said earlier. To be a leader amongst those players.
Turned across, but not close enough to Jalai. And away goes Gomez. Henderson. There we go. Heads away. Flag was up anyway. That's going to be a free kick for Liverpool. The pace is dropping. The evening has the feeling of one that's coming to a gradual close after all the excitement was front-loaded. Not that it's happening the Hoffenheim supporters' enthusiasm.
He was smiling before the game, wasn't he? As he said, very calm, and as though he was enjoying the occasion. He wasn't enjoying it after 20-odd minutes.
There we go.
I think we have seen from this Liverpool side, Mane is going to be a constant threat throughout the season.
Gamble didn't pay off there for Alberto Moreno. Kramaric was running through, the ball didn't run for him. It's Demir by. Mignolet saves. Gelai's offside. The referee says Liverpool could just get on with it.
Actually,
they missed it.
I think it's a good save, because I think this takes a deflection. It took a long time to set it up. Might just come off. There's the offside. It was Gomez it came off of. Just changed the direction. It's a good save by Mignolet.
We've praised Alberto Moreno, but there is the other side of his game that creeps in defensively.
Needs to try and make the challenge. Just stay goal side.
Kramaric. Good chance, and Hoffenheim have a second goal, and Wagner has headed it for them. It's a good finish from the big striker. It has come too late for any real chance for the German team, but something for Sandro Wagner.
That's a good header as well. Kramaric doing well down the left-hand side to get it onto his right foot. Two players against one for Hoffenheim in the box. Gets above Lovren and heads it back across the goal. Nothing Mignolet can do about it. Good header from Wagner.
Player who did play in the Champions League proper for Werder Bremen in 2010-11. His first goal of the season. He scored a dozen in his first season for Hoffenheim. Should be getting a few more than that, shouldn't he?
Well, with his size and his ability in the air, he's a good link-up man. But as soon as that ball came into the box, you could tell it was going to be danger. Yanti was ahead of the ball. Two players against Lovren. Lovren doesn't get his jump in early enough.
Kramaric. Just a bit of a renewed spring in the step of the Hoffenheim players. Toljan with the ball in. Matip felt the need to climb above Wagner to flick it away.
That'll still be the worry for Liverpool. Whatever the outcome of this game, they've conceded 2 goals again.
Henderson. Like him, Matt. Salah. Geiger's lost it. It's up to Mane. He's got Firmino and Salah for company. He just held on to the ball too long.
And there you saw the pace of Toljan. He really is quick, the right back.
In a way, it's kind of gone to script. Captain Kevin Vokes was talking confidently at the weekend about turning this around. He said it's beyond debate that we're capable of scoring 2 or more goals. They've done that bit. We always had a feeling that Liverpool would score at least 2 of their own.
I think that'd be disappointing for Klopp that they had conceded another one. Just tell the confidence gets drained out of Liverpool when they concede goals, even though they're winning the game comfortably. Crowd get a bit anxious as well.
Salah. Mane tried to read it. Toljan was in charge. Thinking ahead to the Premier League game at Anfield on Sunday, this coming Sunday. Well, those inside the stadium will have enjoyed this tonight. Promise of more of the same with the Liverpool-Arsenal clash, because they're not exactly rock solid either. Salah to Van Alden. Good running from Firmino. Clever running, he stayed onside. Wagner. He's got his feet in a bit of a muddle. Salah. Van Alden's taken quite a bit of stick tonight.
Still finding himself in forward areas, Van Alden. Brilliant season at TSV, the season after the World Cup, where Memphis Depay were 2 outstanding players in Eredivisie.
Roberto Moreno. It was there to be struck, just not like that. Seems strange to see a coach about whom you can see disappointment writ large across his face when they're 4-2 up. And it's that second goal that has caused it. Always something to be tinkered with and worked on.
It's tough when you're 3-0 up fairly early on in the game to keep the same sort of tempo and the same sort of intensity in your game.
Wagner's rediscovered his. He should have had a free kick too. Salah. Vogt finds Demirbay.
That Salah's given away possession a little bit too cheaply at times.
Wagner. Kramaric. Led in by Zuber towards Wagner. Firmino warned that Hübner was coming, and he was quite happy to let him win it.
Much easier for Liverpool to defend the outswinger than it was previously to defend that in-swinger that Wagner scored from.
Hoffenheim have 6 minutes to get 3 goals. Salah. Milner. Henderson. Mane. Hasn't got a goal yet tonight.
He's a player that's just dropped the pace in the last 20 minutes or so. Mane brilliant in the first half. You would have noticed that 1 or 2 of the players have committed foul throws throughout the game, but in Serie A, where the referee comes from, foul throws are never given.
I have seen quite a number of those in the opening weeks, as you say, Stuart, of the various European leagues this season. Here's Firmino. Baumann clings on. Salah was looking for the gift.
He's played well, Firmino. His positional sense has been excellent, but it's been dropping into midfield, but it's been going into wide areas. Created that goal for Salah eventually by going into a wide area where he found space.
He'll have enjoyed tonight, the Brazilian too. He spent 4.5 years at Hoffenheim. He was a big part of their rise. into the Bundesliga, or rather in the Bundesliga once they got there. And then he earned them the best part of £30 million sterling when he made the move to Liverpool.
I'm not sure that many people in England had heard of him when he came to Liverpool, but it's proved to be a good signing.
He's intercepted that pass from Demirbay. Here's Mane. Look to make one, or does he look to take one? It's found by Wijnaldum. Here's Firmino, who does shoot. Ripples the side of the goal in his quest for a second tonight.
I think he was always struggling, but he shot away across the goalkeeper because of the closing down of Hübner. He tries to go in at the near post.
Sadio Mane's work is done for the evening. No goal, but a really lively display, as we've come to expect from him.
So much so that the manager had to change his formation halfway through the first half. Nordveit, who was meant to be picking him up, didn't do a good job against him, so he switched to a back four. Then Kaderabek was taken off as well. Well played, Mane.
We're expecting either Daniel Sturridge or Dominic Solanke to come on. It's not to be. Ragnar Klavan, captain of Estonia, was on, and Liverpool finally, with the tie won and just a few minutes left, are going to try and shore things up with an extra defender on the field. Back three now.
Having conceded a goal from a header, they've got two big centre forwards up on the pitch. Now Hoffenheim. I understand why he's done it.
The player who knows Hoffenheim, and he spent 4 years in Germany with Augsburg. Vogt. Geiger. Salah. Almost with the long one. Hübner. The misplaced one.
Once again, Henderson, the player, closing down. It's a round of applause from his manager, Jurgen Klopp. There's a player that you mentioned earlier that's missing.
Lallana. Fine injury sustained in pre-season against Atletico Madrid. Next to him, John Flanagan, who's back at Liverpool, having spent last season at Burnley. He couldn't get a game for them in the Premier League. Another full-back option there for Jurgen Klopp.
Had that very good season, didn't he?
Got into the England squad.
The Brendan Rodgers, and a bit of Kenny Dalglish involved as well, I think.
Wagner. He's battled the Sandro Wagner over the two legs. Only a little bit of reward with that second goal for Hoffenheim tonight. He's actually battled even more since he scored. Salah. Free kick Liverpool.
Just been a bit disappointed with Salah at times tonight. He's been knocked off the ball a little bit too easily. Some of his decision making hasn't quite been good enough. Last season in Serie A, his pace was excellent. He hasn't really shown that tonight.
A card for Benjamin Hübner, who was also booked in the first leg, and that's for just letting his frustration come out too easily. If there was anything in that challenge on Salah. Salah has looked a little bit unenthused compared to some of his teammates. It is very much his style of play. 3 more minutes to go. Liverpool can get themselves ready for Friday lunchtime. Thursday tea time. Thursday tea time Champions League draw, as Wijnaldum has it taken away from him. It's Friday lunchtime for the Europa League draw, which will interest Hoffenheim. Thursday mid-afternoon, early evening, call it what you will. European time. Lovren. Liverpool will be getting themselves ready for some more of those great European nights on this stage.
They can play anywhere near as well as they played in that first half. They should be successful. It should be entertaining as well.
Fans will be mixed. Most will be wanting a group they can set their sights on progressing through reasonably comfortably, but they'll also be licking their lips at the prospect of the Real Madrids and Barcelona's coming to town again. To wait for those days. Subas caught by Gomez as he won the ball and played it out.
I think he gave up the tie a long time ago, didn't he, Nagelsmann? Now, is there a last problem for Liverpool in the air from a set play?
Nearby with the delivery. Heads away. Salah has it taken from him, but Liverpool have it back and might just have one last bit of progression down the field if Firmino wants to do that. Wijnaldum. And the break has come from Moreno. Charged downfield, and now he's got to get back swiftly.
Once again, Wijnaldum showing his strength just to hold off the challenge. Find that bit of space so he could pick out the pass. Slightly overhit it.
Hubner. Robin expects that to bounce behind. Mignolet won't even have time to take the goal kick. It is time for Liverpool to celebrate.
Guys, Stuart, thank you very much. Confident and convincing performance from Liverpool. Warren Barton, your thoughts on the overall performance from Liverpool over the two legs?
A very classy performance, you know, the goals, the movement. Hoffenheim are an excellent team. They showed that in glimpses, but great credit to Liverpool. People like Firmino getting on the ball, bringing other people in the game. I thought it was an excellent performance, home and away.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought the away performance, some people were saying that they didn't think Liverpool played well away from home. Playing Hoffenheim's not easy. And I thought over the two legs at this stage of the season was very good. Very impressed with Chon today. Very, very impressed with Mane. And again, I'm one of the firm believers and lovers of the fullbacks going forward. Yes, it's going to leave you exposed, but it's very exciting games each and every time Liverpool plays.
Yeah, Brad, you hit it on the head there. In a day and age where romance has kind of gone out of the game and everyone's very, very pragmatic, this was a wonderful game. It's not going to be any consolation to Hoffenheim other than to say it was wonderful when you see two teams that just want to go forward and just want to attack. And yes, they expose themselves, and yes, they risk themselves, but from an entertainment perspective, this was fun.
Quick thought on Julian Nagelsmann's tactics at the beginning of the game. Took him a little while to make a move, and going 3 goals down certainly made him make that move quicker.
Yeah, his tactics were fine over the two legs. He wanted to play as his team. It's just that they were getting killed time and time again on their right-hand side. Took him a little while to take Nordfeld out, but also I have some sympathy with him because it's after 7, 8, 9 minutes. It's not often.
Do you learn from that mistake, though? Do you really learn?
No, you should have done it. And we could all sit here and say he should have adjusted it earlier and could have gone to a back four, but he doesn't. He has a theme that he plays, and that made it an open game. Great for Liverpool. Champions League. Coutinho could be staying.
All right, the 10th time overall that Liverpool have managed to reach the group stage of the Champions League. There has been goals galore all across Europe. Stay with us. We'll show you them next.
This match was brought to you by Heineken, UEFA Champions League sponsor. The NFL preseason continues on Fox. Number 2 overall pick Mitchell Trubisky leads the Bears against Marcus Mariota and the Titans. Then the Bengals battle the Redskins. Bears Titans at 1 Eastern and Bengals Redskins at 4 Eastern. Sunday on Fox.
The lion does not eat sparingly. He eats his fill at every meal. For in the jungle, hunger is weakness. Arby's new half-pound roast beef sandwiches. Arby's, we have the meat.
No one knows where it comes from.
Some have it, and some don't. It's the fighting spirit. It consumes fear and weakness. It stands ready to fight whatever shape the battle takes. Because as long as there are battles, there will always be Marines.
I miss you, babe.
I wish you were here. I miss home.
For those who find a way, always unstoppable.
We don't just want to watch the games cable gives us. We want all the teams, no matter where we live, with DirecTV NFL Sunday Ticket. We want Falcons in New York, Jets in LA, Bears in New Orleans, or Buccaneers in a quaint little New England bed and breakfast.
Can you please pass the marmalade, Charlie?
I sure can, Crazy Pirate.
Switch to DirecTV and get every game every Sunday with NFL Sunday Ticket. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
We're not here to take part. We're here to take over.
I am the beast.
Don't miss MLS Heineken Rivalry Week. Where do you stand? Sunday on FS1. It's LA versus San Jose, followed by Seattle versus Portland.
The Champions League playoff round reaching a dramatic conclusion. Karabaj advanced courtesy of today's away goal. Sporting sealed their spot with an impressive victory in Romania. While Chiska Moscow and Apoel got the results that they needed as well. Welcome back into the studio. Enjoy. Warren Barton, Brad Friedel and Alexi Lalas with you. Liverpool were seeking to move on at the expense of Hoffenheim. Let's check out the full match highlights from Anfield. Anticipation was ahead of this match, very exciting indeed, and those two coaches, both Germans, looking forward to the match-up. 10 minutes in, I'm not so sure that Julian Nagelsmann would have been too happy with the start.
He didn't let us down. Mane was excellent throughout this game, always a threat going forward. Clever little play, and the German international, Jean, tucks it away. An excellent performance, a great start, wonderful awareness, good ability. Slightly fortunate with a ricochet, but they deserved it. They was out the traps early and really smothered the away team, but Klopp will be delighted with their performance.
80 minutes on the clock, Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, and again, Liverpool attacking down the left-hand side. They really had a difficult time with Kaderabek and also Nordbet. Nordbet was subbed subsequently in the first half, but this was when all of them sneaking into the box, and Salah on hand to tap in a simple finish.
2 goals and 3 Liverpool starts for Mohamed Salah, only 143 seconds later.
Yep, go right back to that well that is that left side. Wonderful little back heel again, and a nice little pass over.
See what I said there? That's football.
It's beautiful.
That's
great. Mania with a nice little pass right to the back post, and Chad gets a second.
That's the first time that Emre Can scored more than 1 goal in a professional game. 28 minutes on the clock. Mark Uth off the bench and scored.
Yes, he did, but Lovren gives it away sloppy. That could be their Achilles heel if they go in this competition. And it's a good start, and they never put their heads down. Scored in the first leg and got another one. Tucked it away very well, this time with his right foot.
63 minutes on the clock. Many times it's been for me, no, but this time it's for me, yes.
Well, if you vote and you're in that position, you have to either win the ball, make the player go backwards, or foul him. He did none of the 3. Henderson goes in the stronger of the 2. and just lays it on for a simple tap-in for Firmino.
Composed finish, not too sure about the celebration for Firmino.
You said you love that celebration off camera.
I don't wear my pants like that, Bradley. 79 minutes on the clock. Sandro Wagner finally got his goal. First one since March.
Yeah, a little too late, but excited, crossing the box and finish, but it was all red today.
There you have it. Let's have a quick look at the final match stats. Warren, anything in particular catch your attention?
Well, I think straight away ball possession, but we know with Liverpool they play counter-attack, but you can't ask for more than that. 20 attempts and 10 of them on target. Very open game, very entertaining, and their class come through.
Speaking of class, there was one terrific performance today, and terrific performance overall since he's been at the club. Sadio Mane once again proven that he is a very talented player indeed.
And he's not just proven its pace, its awareness, the timing of the run, the maturity that he's shown on and off the field. He's grown into a leader, but it was his day, there's no doubt. Earlier on, Firmino's passing range was excellent. This time, it's a good save by the goalkeeper, but again, understanding what he's good at, getting in behind it. They was giving him the space, Brad, and he exploited it.
Yeah, Nordvet didn't know what to do. You saw in the first clip where Nordvet tried to stay back. In the second clip, Nordvet tries to go forward in the midfield. He didn't really know how to cope with his runs. Here, it's a little just check back and then use his pace again. And that, once again, it's Nordvet. And look how he just gets twisted all in. It's a clever little back heel. Alexi was just very, very good.
It's also an understanding of, okay, he's fast, and at times you need to isolate him, and at times, if he does cut in, then that overlap is on, and we saw those back heels and stuff. So it's just an understanding of coordination and consistency to use that speed efficiently.
And he knew he had him. He knew he was smiling. When he kicked him, he's got up, started smiling, and said, I'm going to run at you again, and keep doing it. And Liverpool found that that was their weakness. We're going to keep going down that left-hand side.
Jurgen Klopp's been under a bit of pressure recently with the Coutinho saga. He seems to have got his tactics spot on in this match, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he doesn't strike me as the type of person that looks under pressure. He doesn't strike me as the type of person that deals poorly with pressure. I think he enjoys it all. He's exuberant on the sidelines. Look at him go into the fans, and Liverpool fans will love all this. And he wants the players to have all the accolades.
It's the first time we mentioned Coutinho in over 90 minutes. Like,
hey, look, if in this ongoing saga, if you're going to win and win big, that's a good look for Liverpool without Coutinho. It puts the pressure back on him.
Maybe they might need him, though, for the Champions
League. Yeah,
Liverpool among the big winners on an eventful day across Europe. Coming up, highlights from the other fixtures, and we'll explain what it all means for tomorrow's group stage draw.
You don't have a chance against me. I can calculate 90 trillion moves in advance. Not fair. Not fair.
Red Bull gives you wings.
These are Domino's all-new Parmesan-dusted, garlic-seasoned, and cinnamon-sprinkled bread twists. How did we come up with such a clever name? We'll never tell. Choose any two of Domino's new bread twists or medium two-topping pizzas for $5.99 each.
Modern life deserves a modern way to pay.
You excited?
Sold out.
Don't fret, my friends. I master-passed it.
You can use it online and on your phone.
I master-passed it.
You got the tickets?
Onward!
Playing the hero? Priceless. MasterPass, the secure way to pay from your bank. Don't just buy it. MasterPass it.
You can see what you like. But I know mine. 'Cause I've heard it before 1,000 times. You can break my balls, but you'll never.
While other insurance companies just see a truck, we see something you've worked really hard for. So why not give it the protection it deserves?
Just what you see.
The NFL preseason continues on Fox. Number 2 overall pick Mitchell Trubisky leads the Bears against Marcus Mariota and the Titans. Then the Bengals battle the Redskins. Bears-Titans at 1 Eastern and Bengals-Redskins at 4 Eastern. Sunday on Fox.
What if we could stream the best comedies, dramas, and sports with no annual contracts or surprise fees? What if we could watch live TV on our favorite devices? What if we could get the TV experience we always wanted? What if we never again had to ask, what if? TV has changed. It's time to change how we get it. This is PlayStation Vue. Start your free trial today.
PlayStation.
No flashing! Wait, so you got rid of Verizon just like that?
I switched to T-Mobile, kept my phone, everything on it. Oh, I even paid it off.
Wow.
Yeah. It's nice that every bad decision doesn't have to be permanent.
Ditch Verizon, keep your phone. We'll even pay it off when you switch to America's best unlimited network.
Howdy. Hey. Here we go. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's not your car. Car's ready.
Wrong car.
It's not your car?
I would love to take it, but no.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. You guys want to check it out? Someone else's car.
This is beautiful. What is this?
It's the all-new Chevy Equinox.
This feels like a luxury SUV.
I love this little 360. How do they even do that?
I made a bad decision on my last car purchase.
Well, your car's here.
Bummer.
Wah, wah. I'm ready for an upgrade.
Liverpool through to the Champions League group stage with Emre Can on target twice in a second leg win over Hoffenheim. Here were Jordan Henderson and Emre Can after the match.
Not just Jordan, we've got Emre Can as well here. Gary, Jordan, what a great night for Liverpool. You're in the Champions League proper.
Yeah, brilliant night. Atmosphere was brilliant all night. I thought the lads were brilliant at the start. Set the tempo, obviously scored some good goals early on. Still, obviously, we can improve on the goals we conceded, but overall, we're delighted to get back in the Champions League where Liverpool belong.
Emre, that was such a fast start. You tore Hoffenheim apart.
Yeah, I think we did it well, and when we start, I think the first 30 minutes was very good, and then the last 15 minutes in the first half, we conceded goals was not that good, but after I think we did it better again, and we deserve to win.
Such a big night. All these European nights, it's a big night for Liverpool because you're back in the Champions League. What is the significance for this club? With the status and the history of Liverpool, you need to be here.
Yeah, definitely. It was one of our aims last season, and we've managed to do it in these two games. So everything we worked for last season, we'll continue to work on. We've got in the Champions League, and now it's about focusing on the next game, but also when we get in the Champions League to make sure we do ourselves justice and win some games there. So it's a big night for everyone, and delighted for the lads and obviously the fans as well.
Over on FS2, Chiska Moscow looked to protect a 1-0 lead against Young Boys. 45 minutes on the clock, just ahead of half-time. Shenikov with his first European goal.
Yeah, and he tucks it away very well. Little chip on the far post. Just his feet, his body. And I love the celebration behind. Look at them, no shirts on. Must be sunny over there, but good finish.
65 minutes on the clock. Alan Jagoev, second qualifying goal. This guy knows how to find the back of the net.
He does. Look at the awareness. Nice little touch. Correct turn and tucks it away. A very, very good player. Again here, touch of an old Dennis Bergkamp goal against Newcastle, I remember, many, many years ago. But
against you?
No, Nikos Davizas.
Steaua played host to Sporting after a scoreless first leg game. But we did not lack a goal in this matchup. We go to the 13th minute. Seydou Doumbia with his first goal for Sporting.
Mathieu with the flick-on header, and Doumbia does what all good goal scorers do, and they take a chance in the box and he pokes that away.
Steaua levelled things, but on the hour mark, Marcos Acuna gets his first goal for his new club.
A good midfield passing, a good forward ball. Have to question the goalkeeper. Really poor decision coming out, and then having to stop. Really gifting a goal there to Acuna.
4 minutes later, Brad Gelson Martins gets on the score sheet.
Yeah, we thought in the first game Martins and possibly Bastos would have been a bit more effective. Martins himself was definitely effective, and you'll see here in a minute, Ian Joy, Bastos, who came on as a sub, does his bit as well.
Nice goal for Bastos. That's 3 goals in his last 2 competitive games, and Sporting Lisbon making it look very easy indeed against Steaua Bucharest. They go through 5-1 on aggregate. Celebrations in style, why not enjoy the moment? Terrific performance all around from the side from Lisbon. Copenhagen needed to overturn a 1-0 deficit against Karabaj. Yes, we were entertained in this one.
Yep, set pieces, ball floated in, and Santander gets his head on it. They think everything's great, right? Everything's going as planned. It's going to be wonderful. Not a problem. We're going to finish this out. You think it happens that way?
That was awful goalkeeping. 63 minutes on the clock, Alexei, Dino and Lovu.
Uh-oh. Dino with a huge goal. Now you got problems. Now you got to score some goals.
That's the fourth qualifying goal for the South African, and it was a nice finish. 3 minutes later, Andres Pavlovic.
All right, they said you got to score some goals. All right, fine, you got to score a couple of goals. Go one at a time. Onside. Game on.
They certainly made it interesting. They got close to finding that equalising goal that would have put them through, Alexei.
It was the one they needed and just ran out of time.
Pavlic, who just scored, missing that opportunity, and Karabach going through. That is Karabach, who joining these 5 clubs that advanced yesterday, including Brendan Rodgers-led Glasgow Celtic, Olympiacos back in the group stage after a 1-year absence, while Sevilla moved on as well. Brendan Rodgers has said he wouldn't mind facing his former club Liverpool, and he might just get his wish with the Reds among 5 sides that punched their ticket today. We'll look ahead to tomorrow's draw by breaking down the seeding pots next.
We don't just want to watch the games cable gives us. We want all the teams, no matter where we live, with DirecTV NFL Sunday Ticket. We want Falcons in New York. Jackson Elliott! Bears in New Orleans. Or Buccaneers in a quaint little New England bed and breakfast.
Can you please pass the marmalade, Charlie?
I sure can, Crazy Pirate.
Switch to DirecTV and get every game every Sunday with NFL Sunday Ticket. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
For a limited time, McDonald's is taking the flavor up with their new Signature Sriracha Sandwich. It's the latest in McDonald's line of signature crafted recipes and features McDonald's exclusive Sriracha Mac Sauce. A deliciously creamy sauce with just the right amount of spice, paired with crispy onions, fresh baby spinach, and kale. The Signature Sriracha Sandwich is yours to enjoy on your choice of beef or chicken. Pick one up and take the flavor up, but do it today because it's only here for a limited time.
With dominance comes expectation to thrive day in and day out. Will you give in to the pressure or will you fight? Mets Nationals followed by Royals Indians. Saturday starting at 3 Eastern on FS1.
What's more irresistible than getting a large mouth-watering pizza at Pizza with 2 of your favorite toppings for just $7.99? Having it delivered right to your door. Enjoy the best $7.99 large pizza delivery deal when you order online, because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? No, sir, no, sir. Some nincompoop stole all my wool sweaters, smart TV, and gaming system. Luckily, the Geico Insurance Agency recently helped Baba with renter's insurance. Everything stolen was replaced, and the hooligan who lives down the lane was caught selling the stolen goods online. Visit geico.com and see how easy it is to switch and save on renter's insurance.
ProPlan Brightmind Adult 7+ promotes alertness and mental sharpness in dogs 7 and older.
The difference has been incredible. She's much more aware. She wants to learn things.
Purina ProPlan Brightmind, nutrition that performs.
This season's Champions League group stage field is finally complete, setting up tomorrow's draw, which you can catch live at 11:55 a.m. Eastern on both FS2 and Fox Sports Go. Liverpool advancing today, which means 5 English clubs in a group stage for the very first time. They'll be hoping to put an end to Spain's recent domination of this competition. Real Madrid last season became the first repeat Champions League winners, and the challenge now for Cristiano Ronaldo and company is to become the first club to capture 3 straight European Cup crowns since Franz Beckenbauer led Bayern Munich did it in the mid-70s. Now, pot 1 is comprised of the highest-ranked domestic teams in their league. So Real Madrid are joined by the likes of Bayern Munich, Chelsea, of course the runners-up Juventus. But Warren, many people think pot 2 is actually stronger than what we see in pot 1.
Yeah, and me included. When you have PSG with the money that they spent this summer with Neymar going there, experience you have with Manchester United back in this competition, and Manchester City, I think Pep Guardiola will really go for this. They've obviously spent a lot of money this summer. Atletico Madrid, there's some outstanding teams in that pot.
There are some dangerous teams in pot 3 as well, Brad.
Yeah, if you're in pot 1 or pot 2, when you go into pot 3 and 4, these are where you probably want to try to pick up your points. But if you're looking at Napoli and Tottenham, you want to stay away from them. Olympiacos away from home, very difficult. Liverpool, home and away, difficult. Roma, the same. Besiktas, when they play in Turkey, is not going to be easy at all. You probably want to try to draw Anderlecht and Basel, but Basel has some tradition in this competition as well, so not easy.
Alexei, pot 4 features a host of clubs looking to spring a surprise or two.
Yeah, of course you guys give me pot 4. I mean, the bottom of the barrel over here. When you got Celtic leading your pot over here, then you know something's wrong. I love you out there, Celtic. But look, if you're looking at here, this is, as Brad said, this is a pot that you look to get your points in it. Although, Leipzig down there. If I was a team over here, I would not, if I'm looking at pot 4, want to get Leipzig. Any of the other ones I can deal with, but that is a trap type of game and a trap type of opponent. So there is going to be quality, and there are going to be surprises because there always are.
All right, there is a chance that we might see 1 or 2 groups of death. But who is your favourite, Alexei Lalas, to go on and win the competition, and why?
Real Madrid, because there's nobody better. They've proven it already just in the short time that we've seen. Things change, but right now, your safe money is on Real Madrid.
Right.
I'm going to have to say the same, which I can't believe. I want to say Bayern Munich. I really like them. I've said them the last couple of years, but Real Madrid looks so strong.
I'm going to go with it. An English team, Manchester City.
Oh, for God's
PSG
sake.
in the final. That's going to be mine. PSG and Manchester City.
In the final.
In the final.
Many people hoping that Warren Barton is right, that is for sure. That does it for us today. For Warren, Brad, Alexei, and our entire crew, thank you so much for watching. A reminder, the draw comes your way tomorrow. Speak for Yourself is up next on FS1.
This match was brought to you by Heineken and Nissan, UEFA Champions League sponsors.
All right, welcome to the show. I'm Jason Whitlock, and I'll explain why ESPN had such a hard time telling these two guys apart.
And I'm Colin Coward, and I'll tell you why last night's trade won't stop LeBron from potentially ditching Cleveland once again. Speak for yourself. Good show today. Starts right now.
Potentially. I didn't see that in the prompter. You threw that little disclaimer in there.
Nervous.
Yeah. Hello and welcome. We're joined today by Fox NBA analyst Jim Jackson and the founder of the Big League, Jason McIntyre. Let's start in the NBA, where a blockbuster trade rocked the NBA yesterday, with the Cavs sending Kyrie Irving to Boston in exchange for Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, Ante Zizic, and the Nets' first-round pick next year. McIntyre pretty much predicted this exact trade back in July.
He did.
On the Big League. Great job, Mac. Obviously, Cleveland needed to do something after getting dominated by Golden State in the finals. Cowherd, does this trade give the Cavaliers a better chance against the Warriors?
I think for a year, Jay Crowder's a real piece. That's 14 point a game, good defender on the wing. Derrick Rose is a piece, he can give you 14, 15. I think for a year, it makes them a little closer. That doesn't mean much because the finals weren't competitive. It's funny, when I drove in this morning, I thought everybody was going to love the Boston trade. But actually, you and I talked about this, there are a lot of people that feel Cleveland short-term won this thing.
Short-term, I think it's great. Jay Crowder will give LeBron James an opportunity to rest on the defensive end. When it's time to defend Kevin Durant, now they have Jay Crowder, not Iman Shumpert, not Richard Jefferson. They have an actual guy who can defend and give LeBron a chance to rest on the defensive end. Isaiah Thomas obviously is a scorer if his hip is okay. Again, to me, he's not Kyrie Irving. But to me, the most important thing was how does this trade impact the Kevin Durant matchup? And I think it does favorably for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, you remember in the fourth quarter of Game 3, the Cavs were in the lead.
And that's when Durant took over because LeBron was tired. I think, as you said, Jay Crowder, he's an elite wing defender, guys. And we're not giving Kobe Altman of the Cavs enough credit. This is a 34-year-old GM of the Cavs. Remember, Danny Ainge would not part with that #1 pick for Paul George. He wouldn't do it for Jimmy Butler. And now he's doing it in this deal. I think Altman did an amazing job. And, Jim, I think finals could be a toss-up, honestly. But they improved that much.
Not even close. Not even close. The trade. What did the trade do for him in regards to really closing the gap on Golden State? One, you got a point guard that's you don't know what's going to happen in regard to his injury. He hasn't been on the court yet. You have 30 days before camp starts.
Let's pretend he's healthy.
I can't pretend that because I don't know yet. And plus, when he's on the court, he's still a defensive liability.
Oh, and Kyrie wasn't?
Yeah, but Kyrie can give you a little bit more defensive because he has size on him a little bit more. Jay Crowder, I love him to death. He doesn't give you the height to defend Kevin Durant. Maybe the little strength. He doesn't give you the height. Now, this trade to me is a stopgap in a lot of ways. From a Boston perspective, you got to look into this a little bit deeper. One, they weren't going to pay Isaiah. They weren't comfortable where he was at 29 years old, coming off a hip injury. So they moved on. Good for Boston. From a Cleveland perspective, they're going to spin this thing saying, well, we made this type of deal because we don't know what's going to happen with LeBron in the future. We had to do something. The 2018 pick works great. But for me, they still haven't closed the gap. You need somebody on the wing, somebody that's going to give you numbers, going to give you points, going to give you size. They don't have that.
Couldn't I argue this? In the history of the league, we would all admit this. Whenever there's a trade, who is the best player? That team won the trade.
Kyrie Irving's the best player.
No question.
Yeah.
And I would say this. Like when I look at Kyrie Irving, he's got flaws. But the playoffs are about scoring late. He's a great finisher. So as much as the trade analysts are saying this, do you believe LeBron James wakes up this morning and thinks, I am really excited about a 7-foot prospect, Crowder, who I've abused for 3 years, less of a point guard, and an 18-year-old?
Whoa. First of all, here's what y'all not thinking about Isaiah Thomas. He's never played with anybody like LeBron James. The game just got easier for Isaiah Thomas. If he's healthy, he will be more effective in every quarter, but particularly down the stretch because he's getting to play with LeBron James, who will create space and opportunities for him. Jim, I just can't believe that you're sitting here telling me that you're acting like everything was on the table and there were all these other players they could have gotten. They got the best that they could. Is Jay Crowder a perfect solution? But given the details of Kyrie Irving demanded to get out of there.
Jason, the question was, did they close the gap?
Yeah.
And in my opinion, no, they did not close the gap as far as beating Golden State.
So Derrick Rose, Jay Crowder, real NBA players.
Isaiah Thomas.
Jeff Green. Let me say, you're selling Isaiah Thomas short. He made a great point.
He is
this
short.
Is a guy who, this is a guy
what do you mean?
who scored 29 points a game as the #1 option on a 53-win team. Hold on, Jim. He's now going to play with LeBron James, the best creator in the league.
But he had to score. Can you pull up this graphic, please? Can you pull up this graphic on Isaiah Thomas? Okay? See at the bottom down there? Minus 5.5 in regards to
Warriors
versus the Warriors. Okay? And also, too, is differential when he's on the court with Golden State and off the court. On the court, minus 9.2. Off the court, plus 14 when they play Golden State.
So he's a liability.
He's a liability. You going back to scoring. I'm telling you this right now. The NBA is built on size and length. I don't care what you talk about, positional. At 5'9", he's not going to have that same kind of impact versus Golden State. You can talk all you want about the other guys in the East and all that and what he did. I love him to death. It's not the same thing when you're talking about closing the gap on Golden State.
All right, to the Celtics, who now look like a completely different team. They are, with just 4 players returning from last year's squad after moving key players, Isaiah Thomas and Jay Crowder. Boston GM Danny Ainge admitted he gave up a lot to make this move happen.
It is a high price tag, but, acquiring a 25-year-old perennial all-star, a player that, fits a timeline for us and is a fantastic offensive player, is one of the best offensive players in the league. You have to pay a heavy price.
All right, now, Whitlock, a different question. Let's just talk East now. Are the Celtics with Kyrie the top seed in the East?
No. Listen, no, because LeBron is always, we don't even got to put Cleveland on. LeBron's always the top seed in the East, regardless of what the standings say. Does adding Kyrie, to me, and I'm going to flip the question and answer one that I think is a better question. Boston's more of a threat now to Cleveland. I think adding Kyrie Irving to Gordon Hayward, now they have a legitimate superstar. I believe Kyrie Irving's a legitimate superstar. Hayward now a legitimate number 2. You still have a great coach there in Brad Stevens. I think the Eastern Conference has just gotten very interesting. Look, do I think Cleveland will win? Absolutely. But I think it's a 6 or 7 game series now.
Kyrie Irving is the best finisher. I've never seen the best finisher in the league be 6'2". It's always been Kobe, Michael, Shaq, Duncan. So now I get the best finisher. I mean, Boston had a bunch of B guys. Isaiah was good. Best finisher, best young coach. Guy draws up the best plays. Guy ends possessions the best way. I think that's the difference, is that Boston seeking big shots in games is way better end of possession, end of half, end of game. I think that's a real thing in the playoffs. You may not feel the difference with Isaiah, Kyrie, regular season. You get to playoff games, they are absolutely, you just talked about, hey, Isaiah's got LeBron. Kyrie's got Brad Stevens.
Yeah.
He draws up the best half-court plays in the league, and now you've got the best finisher. That's where Boston's better to me.
Well, and I agree with you on this perspective, too, that when you look at Boston in the makeup, what hurt them in the playoffs last year was late-game situations when they had to manufacture a shot. It was only Isaiah Thomas. Yep. No one else could really do that. The question goes to the learning curve for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, how quickly they can assimilate to their different roles. Now, moving Jay Crowder, I thought, was critical for Boston because it opens up quality minutes for these 2 young men. So now you don't have to worry about that factor. They can grow into that. Does it close the gap with Boston versus Cleveland? Of course it does, because Kyrie is a game changer. Brad Stevens, his intellect in regards to underneath out of bounds, how to get possessions and plays off script of your offense means a lot. But you still got to go back to one thing in regards to understanding how to win in a 7-game series, and that's where this Boston team stay healthy. That's where the question is going to come. Can you beat Cleveland in 2? Yeah. Can you beat them in 7 mentally is going to be the question.
But let's not forget, and we've seen this twice with LeBron in his walk year in the postseason. Jim, you remember against the Celtics the first time around? LeBron checked out. You remember against the Spurs? They got blown out in the finals. One of the issues that nobody's talking about, the cloud of what will LeBron do is going to hover over that Cleveland team the entire season into the playoffs, and that's where Boston's youth, they're very young, Jim. Great point, like Gordon Hayward's 27. They got a lot of guys under 30. By the time the postseason rolls around, I think Brad Stevens has a winner here.
That's an interesting point. There is a psychology to sports. Like, I feel like Boston just bought a new house. And all the rooms aren't perfect, but it's new paint, new house, new fun, new neighborhood. Psychologically, does Cleveland, Whitlock, feel like this is an old team? This is an old team.
They just got Jay Crowder and Isaiah Thomas. They just got younger. And
Isaiah Thomas has a bad hip. He's a 29-year-old guy.
He's 29. We'll see. I think he recovers. And I think playing alongside LeBron gives him new life. We've seen it with everybody. Again, I'm not comparing Isaiah Thomas to Dwayne Wade, but we saw what LeBron did for Dwayne Wade, who was a little bit banged up. We saw what he did for everybody that he plays with. You know, LeBron's that tide that lifts all boats.
Who are you more excited to watch next year? Celtics or Cavs?
The Cavaliers.
I'm the Celtics.
I'm Celtics, too. Oh, I got to see this.
I think the Celtics.
What world are you living in? You're the biggest LeBron James homer, and then somehow, now it's
starters. 4 new starters.
LeBron James has been the greatest show in the basketball for the last 15 years.
Could you argue this? Boston now has the 2nd and 3rd best players in the East. Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward.
No, Greek freak. Come on.
How do you go Greek? Come on, John Wall. You put Gordon Hayward in front of him. Now, keep in mind this: NBA. When you think about this, the NBA is like a movie. What we just saw was a snapshot of what it could be. We got to let this thing play out a little bit more to really see how the interaction with Kyrie and Brad Stevens works, but also what happens with Cleveland in regards to Isaiah's health. Again, we're 30 days away from camp. He hasn't been on the court yet. Okay. That is critical to see how this whole thing plays out.
What? Jim Jackson isn't a doctor, but he plays one on this show.
Maybe he has access to the doctor information.
I was with Dr. J all weekend.
Coming up, I'll tell you the reason why these rallies for Colin Kaepernick are actually hurting his cause. Next! You watch it Speak for Yourself, presented by Sony PlayStation Vue.
Canelo, be bold. Come on, Canelo, be bold.
Be one that is light.
Tecate Light, born bold.
As King Midas, I expect things to last a long time. And so should you.
Midas has a lifetime guarantee on these parts.
That's right. On things like struts, brakes, shocks, all kinds of automobile parts. Guaranteed for life.
Does he turn everything to gold?
Brakes.
Not everything. Luckily, he's not a dog person.
At Midas, we're always a touch better, with limited lifetime guarantees on select parts, complimentary courtesy checks, and more. Book an appointment at Midas.com.
May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others. Let others do for you. May you build a
Long live the fearless. And long live the trucks that push you further. Ram, America's longest lasting pickups.
Now get an average $11,468 in total values on the 2017 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab with a Hemi V8 engine.
What would you do if you got 2 Whopper sandwiches for just $6? No need to hide it. Right now, get 2 flame-grilled Whopper sandwiches for just $6, only at Burger King.
Excuse me, mind if I sit here?
Not if you want your phone to work.
Let me guess, can't live stream your lobster roll?
And my mobile pay isn't connecting, and I just got an unlimited plan.
Right plan, wrong network. You see, Verizon is America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. And now, unlimited plans start at $40 per line. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is your seat. Definitely. Yep, just tucking it in. No, I wasn't going to pull it out.
When it really, really matters, you need the best network and the best unlimited. Now plans start at $40 per line for 4 lines.
This Labor Day weekend, college football is back. On Saturday, Maryland faces a tough test in the heart of Texas. Then on Sunday, Texas A&M battles the Bruins on their big city turf. Maryland versus Texas on FS1. Texas A&M, UCLA on Fox.
Oh my gosh, that's Frank Thomas. No. Yes, that's him. Go ahead. Excuse me, are you Frank Thomas?
Yes, I am.
I bet you get recognized a lot.
I was a pretty good ball player.
You were?
Some people thought so.
Sorry, we recognize you from those Nugenics commercials.
Oh, yeah? That's great.
So does Nugenics really work?
Oh, yeah. I really can feel the difference. My workouts are better, and I feel a lot more energetic.
I wish my husband would use Nugenics.
It's so easy to get started. All you have to do is send one simple text.
Text 42424 and enter IDEA for a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Its unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate.
And you're going to like the difference, too.
Text 42424 and enter IDEA for a complimentary bottle of Nugenics. Samples are not available in stores. Text 42424 and enter IDEA.
Trying to get some rest time here at Chicago Bears camp on my Glaze Across America bus, sponsored by DraftKings. Waiting for head coach John Fox to come up. Texting me now to give me a little fill-in on his rookie QB. Come on, Foxy, let's go. Gee, what are we going to talk about, John? What are we going to talk about?
I have no idea.
You know what? I know no one's talking about your quarterback.
No.
So I'm going to be the first one to actually ask the question about your quarterback. What's he done that's been un-rookie-like, and what's he done that's been rookie-like? Well, I'd say a lot more unrookie-like. I think just the way he approached it. He came in with 2 veteran guys, and Mark Sanchez, as well as Mike Glennon. He's kind of accepted that role. He's done everything right as far as how he works, how he's in the room, how he fits in the room. And then when he gets on the field now, he's an alpha. He's all over it. He inspires the guys around him. He's got great mobility, and he's a very accurate thrower.
Brought to you by DraftKings. Play free one-week fantasy football at DraftKings.com.
Welcome back. Joined now by a couple of Super Bowl champs, Seth Joyner, Eric Davis. Let's move to the National Football League, where NFLPA President Eric Winston was asked about a possible work stoppage yesterday after Executive Director of the union, DeMaurice Smith, raised the possibility last week. Needless to say, Winston didn't seem concerned.
Honestly, I don't care, and I don't think the guys in this locker room care whether this thing's going to be around in 20 years because none of us are going to be playing. So if these guys want to own for a long time, then they can own for a long time, but another work stoppage might kill the golden goose. So I'm certainly not worried about it. I'm not going to be around that long, and I don't care even if they're rookies in here. They're not going to be playing that long. So if this thing dies out in 20 years, it dies out in 20 years. But that's not really my concern, and I don't think it's any of these players' concern in here either.
Whitlock, should the players be upset with what their president's saying?
Nothing has upset me more. Look, I love football, and I make no bones about it. I think football's been a great sport, particularly for African Americans. Football helped me get to college, helped these guys make a lot of money, help their family. I don't get this. This is a disgrace to me. This is everything that I hate about this young generation. They don't care about anything that doesn't have to do with them. And so the guy he doesn't care if the NFL's here 20 years from now. What about the older guys that made a lot of sacrifices so that he could have the opportunity to earn all this money, to play in the league for this long, and get to the point where he's like, I don't care. I don't care about the league. This is the mentality of young people. They don't care about anything that doesn't have to do with them. This was appalling to me. If I was an NFL Players Association member or an old player or whatever, I'd want this guy fired.
Yeah, I thought Winston was outrageously glib. So you're telling me that former NFL player doesn't have any gravitas. It used to be in America, when you were an astronaut or a former astronaut, that was guaranteed income. And then NASA doesn't send many astronauts up, and nobody cares about astronauts. The fact you can walk in a room, and I'm a former NFL player. Oh, you want to be on a TV show? You want to go to a trade show? You want to get paid for dinner? Like, what he's saying is, if the league dies, then Eric Winston's just a dude. I played in the NFL. What's that? Like, the idea that being an NFL player doesn't make Eric and Seth different than the rest of us. If I walked into a party and say, hey, this guy played in the NFL for the Eagles. He hit people late, by the way, all the time.
Don't buy that.
That doesn't hold any esteem in society.
Listen, this has got to be the most selfish statement that I've ever seen out of an NFLPA director. Okay? He's forgotten. These young guys need to be reminded. In 1987, we went on strike. Scab games they had. Okay? What we did was went on strike so that these guys could make the astronomical amounts of money that they make today. Okay? We had a fiduciary responsibility to the game, to ourselves, to the future of the game, to the future players in the game. And he has a fiduciary responsibility to himself, the current players, and the future players, and the game itself. So I am just like appalled and really blown away by this statement because he has lost sight of the guys that came before him that created the entity that allows him to enjoy the lifestyle that he now enjoys.
What he just said is stupid. That's I'm going at Winston. That's just stupid because you don't care about the game being around in 20 years. Well, what about the people that played before you, that are playing with you, that need that pension that is coming from that? What about the CTE issues and the families that will be affected? Well, this game dies. Am I responsible for what happens to you? The income that could be coming in to help those families, or some of the players that will be suffering from injuries like that. The insurance, all the separate issues that go along with after you've played this game. Insuring your family, your body being so broken up that you can't get insurance if you don't have this to lean back on because you sacrificed yourself out there on the field. There are so many different issues that go along with you just saying, I don't care, and being selfish. And you're right. That's a very selfish comment, and you got to get beyond that. It was something we dealt with as players, and the players have to do this now. You got to look at it, and you got to understand that the game is not all about you.
It's bigger than you.
It's
Can you
bigger
imagine
than
if
you.
Jack Nicklaus said, I don't care if golf just evaporates. You'd be like, you don't care about the history of the game? Like if Jack Nicklaus said that, you'd be like, one of the great things about musicians is when, like, the Eric Claptons, like, embrace the new bands. It's like, you know, you see the old B.B. Kings, the olds, they love the new acts because they love the art of music. Actors, age, love the new stars. Like, if you want to treat your life like a rental car or a hotel room, go for it. But it says something about your character when you don't care about anything beyond your personal borders.
I was sitting here yesterday when this came out, and today, like, this, and I understand that we've had events, the LeBron trade, but it's like no one's talking about this. This guy is the head of the union. He represents the players. DeMaurice Smith should be embarrassed. There should have been some comment from DeMaurice Smith disavowing these comments, backing away, because this to me is an indication why I have a problem with the union. Because if he can say this and DeMaurice Smith has no problem with it, this is why the union's ineffective and not a good representative of the older guys or the current players. This is crazy.
Just reverse it. Wouldn't we be outraged if, and we have been, when we don't think the league cares about its older players?
Absolutely.
And players have a right to be outraged. If the NFL came out and said, we don't care, what you're saying is you don't care about the players who put their life in harm's way? I mean, most of these guys that play, bad knee, bad hip. Can you imagine if a league said this about players? We would be.
The problem with the NFLPA, though, when you really get down to the nuts and bolts of it, their biggest concern is about the current players. The current players are the ones, in a lot of ways, that need them the least, because these guys are in the prime of their career, the prime earning years.
Right.
Okay, the former athletes, the former players are nothing more than an afterthought. So if the players are making money and they're happy, the current players, that is, why should the NFL really, why should the PA really care? This is the problem I've always had. I had many arguments with Gene Upshaw, God rest his soul. We had many, many battles because of how I perceive things to be, how I believe things to be, and how the union went about.
Gene Upshaw is better than this current leadership.
Oh, I agree. I agree, but we still had our bouts.
All right, to Colin Kaepernick, who is now dividing sports legends with Hank Aaron saying the QB is getting a raw deal, and former boxing champion George Foreman calling his protest unpatriotic. Kaepernick is also the inspiration for multiple rallies today, demanding that he be given a job, including one outside of NFL headquarters in New York and 2 separate events in Atlanta. Cowherd, will these protests and these rallies help Kaepernick return to the NFL?
No, I think they hurt it because he becomes incredibly newsworthy as a backup number 1 and second. Man, did they pick a bad weekend. You got the Kyrie Irving trade. You have, Trump's weekly distractions. You have week 3 of the NFL preseason, which is the most interesting week. You have an MMA fight. They've got
a boxing match.
Yeah, usually August. I mean, usually August is a great time to call a press conference. This weekend is the busiest August weekend I ever remember.
Yeah, he's being drowned out, but again, I go back and forth on whether or not this is going to help, because this is an extortion play at this point. This is, we're going to raise so much hell and cause so many problems for the NFL if you don't give this guy a job. We're going to generate these news cycles of protests and rallies and celebrities calling out the NFL. Give this guy a job. I could see the NFL folding under this scenario. I wouldn't, because, again, I think once you fold the first time, they're going to be bending you over forever. I would not fold to these rallies. If I had to bet, the NFL won't fold, but you never know.
These rallies are not going to affect it one way or the other. It's not going to hurt Cap in getting a job. It's not going to help Cap in getting a job. The only thing that I think can help Cap get a job would be the suspension being held up on Ezekiel Elliott. Because of the way that Jerry Jones was out in front, that nothing is going to happen, he will be cleared, he will play. He is upset about what's going on. Jason Garrett, his head coach, has shown that he is extremely quarterback dependent. He loses his starting quarterback, he can't win games. They need a backup. Have you seen their backups play this preseason? Probably not, but I have. They need a backup quarterback. So back to Jerry Jones being upset about Zeke. Jerry may now say, you took Zeke away from me, guess what? All of the rest of you owners, he's done it before. He's the Maverick. I'm going to give him a job. That's the guy that'll give him a job.
Well, I've always
for that.
thought the Cowboys were the right fit.
Yeah, you have.
That's an interesting.
Yeah, you have. You know, what the question is, what is it that moves the needle in the NFL? Nothing moves the needle but money, okay? So, and it's not likely to happen, but the only way I can see Cap getting a job anytime soon, barring a catastrophic injury and somebody just having to sign him, is one of the, you know, a sponsor stepping up or a partner in the NFL vouching for him. But that's not likely to happen at all. You know, I really start to feel for this guy a little bit because for Cap, I do. Because you know what? There is a whirlwind of events around him that's being tagged to him. Let me finish, okay? The social injustice, and now the other players are starting to step up.
The ice challenge.
The Trump effect. No matter what it is that you believe or think about him, and then the Charlottesville event. All of that is kind of encapsulating him right now and keeping him front and center. What he needs is for everything to just calm down so that we can start talking about football again, and he can somehow, some way get with a good team.
Okay, why, again, you said at the end, so we can talk football again. Why won't he talk football? The last 8 moments with Kaepernick are all politics.
You know what the problem is? Is that there's a narrative. And you know how narratives are. Some people sit on one side, some people sit on the other side. So no matter what he says, he cannot win. He will not win.
Are you kidding me, Seth?
Yes.
The whole media is caping up for this dude. Look, you can go to ESPN right now, and then Hank Aaron says Cap's getting a raw deal. You will find nothing from George Foreman saying he thinks it's unpatriotic. The media is completely one-sided on this. Look, Hank Aaron's quote, again, and love Hank Aaron to death, but he's 82 years old. Kaepernick has gone to all these camps, I suppose, and nobody seems to think he stands a chance to be a number one quarterback. Cap ain't gone to no camp. This dude, he's 82. He doesn't know what he's talking about, but he's on the front page of ESPN, and it's big news to someone that doesn't know a damn thing about football, thinks Cap's getting the raw deal.
If Cap called a press conference tomorrow and said something, no matter what he said, there's a piece of the media that would misconstrue it and turn it and twist it and turn it the way they wanted to. So for the sake of not having that happen, why even say anything? The only people he needs to be talking to are the teams that's interested in him. If they're interested in him, then all the questions that they have, he can answer those questions behind closed doors. He doesn't owe the media or anybody any explanation.
A press conference is not going to change anything.
No.
This is not about what Cap did. This is no longer, I'm talking about from an ownership standpoint. This has nothing to do with him sitting, taking a knee or anything. This has something to do with someone showing up at the workplace with something that's bigger than the shield. You can do it. You have the right to talk about it. But what if the next guy says, you know what? I feel a certain way about women's rights, and I'm going to start protesting before, and when people ask me about it, I'm going to talk about that every week. I feel a certain way about gay rights in this country, and I'm going to speak about it. Every way and every day, every game, I'm going to talk about it. What they are doing is saying, yes, guys are in the league. And, Malcolm, you can hold your fist up, and you can do it, Bennett. You can take a knee. You can sit. You can do all these things. But remember, the first guy that decided to bring something bigger than the shield and have people talking about it when it's supposed to be about the shield, he's taking a hit. So if you want to bring your deal to it, you go take the hit.
Same rules apply here at Fox Sports. They want us talking about sports and doing a television show, not holding a protest rally. That's pretty much every workplace on the planet.
Not saying it's not.
If you want to do the ice knee challenge, join. There's an anthem protest going on this weekend, I'm sure. Coming up, are you a Cavs fan upset about the trade? Colin Cowherd is going to drop another hammer on you. Next! Go watch and speak for yourself, presented by Sony PlayStation Vue.
We're ignited by people who push boundaries, who are fiercely independent, who say, this can be better. The liberties of this country are founded on setting brush fires of freedom the opportunity to do something that matters, and the relentless quest for a better future. So raise a glass to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Fight me.
I will accept our challenge.
Raised up from the ashes, never down. We are kings and queens, we last of the warriors, here to stay.
Bird of the Dragon, rated PG-13, in theaters this Friday.
This is Axe Body Spray. Use it to stay fresh all day. And this is Axe Dry Spray. Use it to stay dry for 48 hours. Why are you touching your armpit?
I was just checking to see if it was dry.
Don't. That's weird. Smell great and stay dry with Axe.
Infinity, empower the drive.
Rap is a great way to engage students. It's literacy and vocabulary words. I really like using the pen because I'm able to highlight different rhyme schemes and delete. I couldn't do this on my Mac.
Rules? There are no rules for TV anymore.
No, it's okay. It's a root for the bad guy. We're breaking the rules. All right.
With PlayStation View, you no longer need the box or the guy who installs it.
The rules of TV have changed. It's time to change how you get it.
Better TV starts now.
When you really want to save big on a hotel, just go to Priceline. They add thousands of new deals every day up to 60% off.
That's how Kaylee and I got to share this trip together at this amazing hotel.
Go to Priceline and get the hotel deals you won't find anywhere else.
Play DraftKings free $100,000 contest week 1. And if you draft the perfect lineup, you can win $1 billion. Use promo code TRADE because you don't just want to watch, you want to play.
I sold my dream house to buy my first Domino's store.
I built my store with my bare hands.
I use my college savings to buy my store. It means everything to me.
But we've decided to tear them down.
We love what we do, but not where we do it. Come and see our remodeled stores when you carry out large 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each every day.
Live on Fox.
Big 3. Man, this is real basketball.
Three-headed monsters. Battle Trilogy. For the Big 3 Championship.
Believe the hype.
Live Saturday at 4:30 Eastern.
Big 3 on Fox.
I love what Boston did yesterday. Just like buying a new house, maybe you don't have the money for furniture for every room, but you know where you're going, what you'll get, and your future. I absolutely love what Boston did. Then there's Cleveland. Tarp, buckets, tools, coughing, redoing the kitchen for 18 months. There's no real clarity. If I say to you, fun, youth, energy, clarity, you're not thinking Cleveland. You're thinking Boston.
All right, welcome back to the show. Jim Jackson's reluctantly black here on the stage. Eric Davis is here with us as well. Back to the NBA, who continues to grab headlines during the NFL season. All right, more on the Kyrie Irving trade presented by Lexus Experience. Amazing, despite reports of a growing rift between LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. LeBron took the high road yesterday after Irving got shipped out of town, responding to a fan who thanked Kyrie over Twitter, saying, quote, "That's the only way to be to this kid. Special talent, special guy, nothing but respect, and what a ride it was, our 3 years together, young gold." All right, Cowherd. Rumors have been flying for months that LeBron is on his way out of Cleveland. Does this trade make him more likely to stay?
No. What's the part of the assets that Cleveland got that most people think's the best thing?
The draft pick.
Exactly. When has LeBron showed a great interest in playing with high schoolers? He had Wiggins, not interested.
That was a mistake, but go ahead.
Okay, but
He didn't want to play in high school when he was in high school.
Okay, LeBron is a high IQ basketball player who knows that not only physically but emotionally, you're not ready when you're 18, 19, 20, 21. The best asset they got, that's why I keep saying, Cleveland's not done here. Like, you think this is the finish line. Like, Cleveland thinks, LeBron's staying. You got to make that #1 pick something that LeBron's keenly interested in. Can you get a Paul George? Kevin Love picked Paul George. When has LeBron ever shown interest in playing with high schoolers?
But what you just described is now they have an opportunity to get the piece because they have that first-round pick.
Okay, but that's a big if.
We've just watched this young general manager put on a nice little clinic in my mind. Why doubt him now that he made with that pick, the Brooklyn pick that they just got from Boston, that could be turned into something, a real asset who can help LeBron win now. So, yeah, I think they just move closer to keeping LeBron James.
I just don't believe that. I think LeBron is in a situation where he's looking at.
I've always liked you, Jim.
Well, you're going to like me even more after this one. The trade to me didn't indicate or bring LeBron any closer. Now, who knows what he's thinking in regards to staying or leaving? We all want to speculate in regard to what he's going to do. The draft pick is great in regards to future opportunities, whether that's a Michael Porter or a Bagley at that time in that 2018 class. That's the only way this Cleveland organization, post-LeBron, will be able to be competitive.
Yeah, but does it make him attractive?
But here's the thing. It's hard to dictate and understand what LeBron James is going to do. We thought in Miami, once Dwayne Wade kind of took a pay cut, opened up the salary cap for a max deal, that LeBron was going to stay. And he didn't. He went back to Cleveland. So I'm out of the speculation business in regards to LeBron James. I give up on it because I just don't have a clue in regards to what he's thinking and why he's thinking it. But long term, I don't think this trade made me feel any more comfortable that LeBron James is now saying, well, since we made this trade, I'm going to stay.
I don't even think does this trade make you think they're going to beat the Warriors?
No.
Okay, all right. So there's no reason for LeBron to hang around, in my opinion.
And lose to the Warriors.
Lose to the Warriors again. I think LeBron is going to leave and try to get himself in position with other players, the Paul George that you mentioned, but somewhere where that can happen because they're not going to come to Cleveland.
Eric.
And I think LeBron wants to get out of Cleveland.
Eric. Jim is 6'6", looks like a basketball player, but he's from Ohio. I'm from Indiana. I know basketball. Jim thinks he knows basketball. What? Colin thinks he knows basketball.
Are you
The Cavaliers are closer to Golden State now than they were before.
How?
How? What do you mean how? Because they have someone who can defend Kevin Durant and give Jay Crowder
He
and give him a break.
defend Kevin Durant.
I'm with him on that one. You may know basketball, but I'm with him on that one.
Let me explain something to you. Kevin Durant is 6'10", 6'11".
Yeah.
Jay Crowder's what, 6'7"?
6'8".
Maybe. No, maybe. It's no way. He couldn't do it with Boston. Okay? How is he going to defend Kevin Durant in the 7
Better
games?
than Iman Shumpert, better than Richard Jefferson.
They weren't in the game like that to guard him.
That's whose minutes he's getting.
Let me explain something, Jason. It sounds good on paper.
Yeah.
He can be physical all he wants. That kid in Golden State, Crowder ain't got nothing for him. I love him to death. Look, he works hard. He's going to hustle. He's going to do all the little things. That move didn't bring them closer to beating Golden State. They needed somebody 6'8", like a Paul George.
It's not over.
That's going to make Kevin Durant play defense.
It's not over. They have a draft pick.
You're talking about now. You just said Jay Crowder can guard him. He can't.
They have an asset
Mr. Indiana basketball.
That they could listen.
What?
I was raised by Bobby Knight. I know basketball.
You know how to argue, too. And you know how to argue.
That's what he knows. And now on top of what he and what.
Let's just assume LeBron gets personnel. He's a smart guy. I mean, well, he is. He knows his basketball. LeBron's looking at this thing going, okay, we're not as good at point guard. We're not.
Nope.
Kyrie's better. LeBron's like,
Kyrie wanted to leave, throw that in.
Okay, but we're not as good as point guard. I couldn't give a rep about a 7-foot prospect. I've been abusing Jay Crowder for 3 years. LeBron's not stupid. LeBron knows that #1 pick is everything. And LeBron's thinking, #1 pick, Kevin Love, Paul George. The only way it makes LeBron stay is LeBron is thinking to himself, we're not done yet.
Right. And
LeBron
now they
does,
have an asset, so they don't have to be done.
Okay, but let's just be clear here. The asset is the #1 pick.
Yeah.
But to get a Paul George, you'd have to sell something else. Kevin Love was available. Nobody wanted him last year. It's not the greatest
Packaging
asset.
with this top pick potentially.
And,
you may be able.
But here's the problem when you move Kevin Love. Keep in mind, you can say all you want. Part of what Kevin Love gives Cleveland is freedom of movement in space. When they run the pick and roll, because he can space the floor, he opens up opportunities. If you can't replace a Kevin Love with a player like that, why trade him? Because now you take away a valuable weapon and asset that can compete on the court. You got to think about that.
Let me move all the way back, Jim. You would agree it was a good trade. Given the circumstances and situation, it was a good trade for Cleveland. Would you say yes or no?
I would say yes.
Thank you.
So I'm not going to say great and it closed the gap.
It was a good trade. So it was a move forward. They now have an asset.
But that's not potentially. The trade wasn't enough to make LeBron want to stay beyond this. And actually, I think the #1 pick gives him reason. It makes it easier for him to leave because you're already in rebuilding mode.
By the way, let's say you walked into your apartment tonight, and I don't know if you cook, but you wanted cookies. And you didn't have much. You had a little butter and a little flour and a handful of chocolate chips. And you made the best cookies. You made the best cookies given the circumstance.
Yeah.
Don't make them great cookies.
Exactly.
That's the best.
I'll eat them, though.
It's a good trade given the circumstance.
Leave it alone right there.
Before John Jones embarrasses the UFC again, we'll tell you one thing Dana White must do.
Carbs to refuel, electrolytes to help replenish what you lose in sweat. Gatorade. Rehydrate, replenish, and refuel.
As King Midas, I expect a lifetime guarantee. And so should you. On struts, brakes, shocks.
Does he turn everything to gold?
Not everything.
At Midas, we're always a touch better. Book an appointment at Midas.com.
Changing your oil after 3,000 miles?
Kevin Harvick.
If you'd use new Mobil 1 annual protection, you wouldn't have to. It protects your engine for 1 year with just one oil change.
Don't change your oil. New Mobil 1 annual protection.
Noah! Up.
Your arm tired yet?
No.
You good?
What is all this?
I'm throwing a carnival for 50-cent corn dogs.
Oh, fun.
Guess how many corn dogs in the jar?
2.
Wrong.
You just rigged that.
No, I didn't. There's a guy back there.
50-cent corn dogs, all day on Thursday, August 24th. This is how you Sonic.
Experience unparalleled luxury at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales event before it ends.
Choose from Yaya's Turbo, ES350, or NX Turbo for $299 a month for 36 months if you lease now.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Pizza with Pepsi. Delicious.
Once there was a little pig that had built his house out of straw. One day, a big bad wolf huffed and he puffed and blew the house down. Luckily, the Geico Insurance Agency had helped the pig with homeowner's insurance. he had replacement cost coverage, so his house was rebuilt good as new. The big bad wolf now has a job on a wind farm. Call Geico and see how easy it is to switch and save on homeowners insurance.
Canelo, be bold! Come on, Canelo, be bold!
Be bold there, Light.
Tecate Light, born bold.
The biggest weekend in combat sports history is on FS1 and Fox. Friday is the Mayweather-McGregor weigh-in live on FS1 at 6 p.m. Eastern. Saturday night, it all starts with the prelims live on Fox right before Mayweather-McGregor pay-per-view, and come right back to FS1 for all the post-fight coverage.
Welcome back. Jim Jackson, Eric Davis are here. Let's move to the UFC, where Dana White announced that John Jones tested positive for steroids at UFC 214. The event had appeared to be a triumphant return to the octagon for John Jones, who defeated Daniel Cormier to retake the light heavyweight title. But he's now been stripped of the title, and Dana White says he might lose even more than that.
I mean, if this ends up and he gets, and it ends up, getting 2 or 3, it might be the end of his career. So to talk about his legacy, I mean, it's probably the end of his career.
You don't see him coming back?
He might. Well, let me tell you what, it's tough. I mean, how old is John now? 30?
30.
Yeah, 33, 34, trying to make a comeback again. And you look at what could have been and what he could have done, and sad. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I always know what to say. I don't know what to say about this one.
Right, Whitlock, should UFC just cut ties with John Jones?
Listen, if I'm listening to Dana White there, John Jones just cut ties with the UFC. I mean, listen, this is his second steroid bust. He had the hit-and-run incident. That's 3 strikes and you're out, as far as I can tell. In this game of baseball, he's out.
Did Hollywood give up on Robert Downey after his issues? Did boxing always give up on Mike Tyson? This is the entertainment business. This is a whole different ballgame. These aren't elected officials. He's the best, most gifted fighter the sport's ever had.
You can watch him now and not think he's on drugs. You would have to think he's on steroids. He's cheating.
You know what, man? I watched baseball for a long time, and I never thought a lot of those guys were clean. Home run's a home run.
It's a fight, though. It's not fair to Daniel Cormier. It's not fair to the other fighters.
Okay.
Which is why you have to change the testing policy.
Yes.
So you shouldn't be finished with John Jones. What they should be finished with is their testing policy. Because UFC and Dana White, they got all their money off of it. They wanted to pump this fight, the best pound for pound fighter in the history of the UFC. He's back. Let's make this money. Let's do it. Then you're going to test him afterwards when he's already failed the test? Come on, what league does that?
You always say you don't like giving up on young men.
I don't trust him. I don't think
so you test him anymore. You test him before his fight.
I think they tested him before his fight.
No.
The results came in.
You get you don't. That's all you have to do.
Right. The test was after the weigh-in. The results come in after the fight. So technically, they tested him before.
I'm talking about getting the results.
Get your results before the fight, and you know the guy is clean.
But isn't this a challenge of the UFC that is built around individuals?
Yes.
The individuals make the sport. Kind of like boxing. I look at boxing. I'm a huge boxing fan. The stigma, the cloud around it, boxing was fixed. It was mafia type. But because you had so many kind of intriguing individuals, it kept people watching. No matter what happened, even with the Pacquiao fight of it maybe being stolen from him, it's still something there. With UFC, it's hard to cut your ties with a guy like that because look what's happened on the women's side with Ronda Rousey. She generated so much attention in regards to people tuning in that weren't avid UFC fighters just to watch her. She drove the bus. So it's a catch-22 for Dana White in regards to, okay, who's next? Who's really going to carry the torch within UFC to keep people eyes on the screen? It's an individual.
What if Tiger comes back and can golf? Should the PGA just cut ties with him?
Well, he hasn't been busted for steroids yet. He's been busted for nude pictures, nude women.
Gentleman's game. There's a gentleman's game. He's bad for the brand, or does he sell out tournaments?
Well, yeah. First of all, John Jones, Tiger Woods, there's a huge gap here.
Well, but I would argue they're both.
I was about to say, golf, Tiger Woods, UFC, John Jones.
He is easily.
Conor McGregor is the guy.
Okay, Conor McGregor by Monday. Well, no, actually, By Saturday night, 10 could be a boxer. I mean, by the way, Rousey, Tate, Brock Lesnar's not fighting. I mean, by the way,
it's a microwave sport, and they got microwave athletes. I mean, again, I was laughing when they were calling Ronda Rousey the greatest female athlete of all time. I was like, what? Huh? Who? How? I mean, who she beat up? I mean, we don't even know anything about this sport.
Couldn't we argue, though, that, baseball's a million years old, golf. This is a fledgling sport.
Yeah.
It's in its infancy.
That's why it's easy to cut ties with this steroid.
That's why it's easy to just change your testing policy. It's a simple thing.
Sure they're concerned. What they would argue is if we tested earlier, then they would cheat in the days leading up to the fight. That's why they test so late.
Or if you test, because I think it's a good point. Or what happens if you find out right before the fight, an hour before? Then you don't have a fight card. If you paid for pay-per-view, there's no fights.
ESPN just took political correctness to the next level. We'll address the ridiculous Robert Lee controversy.
It's 6 a.m. 40 million Americans are waking up to a Gillette shave. And at our factory in Boston, 1,200 workers are starting their day building on over 100 years of heritage, craftsmanship, and innovation. Today, we're bringing you America's #1 shave at lower prices every day, putting money back in the pockets of millions of Americans. As one of those workers, I'm proud to bring you Gillette quality for less, because nobody can beat the men and women of Gillette. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Get 2 Whopper sandwiches now for only $6. Only at Burger King.
New tools, new ideas. Change has come fast over the years. But the one thing that drives all that change hasn't changed at all. And it never will. Let's get to work.
You got your mom's side, but just be calm side. You got it. I never thought I'd get out of here that you keep hot side. Hey, I'm just looking side. Man, you better buy that ride. This wide is nationwide. They help the load, protect and grow your many sides. Yeah, nationwide is on your side.
Looks like Mr. Potato Salad didn't sign up for the NFL's official fantasy football game on NFL.com.
One click to optimize your roster.
And boom, you're a boss.
I got David Johnson.
I got Mike Evans.
Just give me the rock. We're going to make magic.
The official fantasy football game of NFL.com makes it easy for anyone to be a total boss.
Oh, my gosh, that's Frank Thomas.
No.
Yes, that's him. Go ahead. Excuse me, are you Frank Thomas?
Yes, I am.
I bet you get recognized a lot.
I was a pretty good ball player.
You were?
Some people thought so.
Sorry, we recognize you from those Nugenics commercials.
Oh, yeah? That's great.
So does Nugenics really work?
Oh, yeah. I really can feel the difference. My workouts are better, and I feel a lot more energetic.
I wish my husband would use Nugenics.
It's so easy to get started. All you have to do is send one simple text.
Text 42424 and enter IDEA for a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics, the #1 selling pre-testosterone booster at GNC. Its unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate.
And you're going to like the difference, too.
Text 42424 and enter IDEA for a complimentary bottle of Nugenics. Samples are not available in stores. Text 42424 and enter IDEA.
This Labor Day weekend, college football is back. On Saturday, Maryland faces a tough test in the heart of Texas. Then on Sunday, Texas A&M battles the Bruins on their big city turf. Maryland versus Texas on FS1. Texas A&M, UCLA on Fox.
All right, welcome back to the show. Jason McIntyre, Jefferson Davis are back. Let's move to a story that is beyond parody.
You got to go there?
Clay Travis revealed yesterday that in light of the recent violence in Charlottesville, my former employer, Ann Collins, pulled a broadcaster named Robert Lee from an upcoming University of Virginia football game, you know, because people can't tell the difference between the Asian-American broadcaster and the Confederate general who died 150 years ago. Cowherd, has sports become way too politically correct?
Sports media?
Sports media.
No, I think ESPN has. They're not an avatar for the industry. We didn't overpay for the NFL. They did. CBS didn't overpay for the NFL. They did. They don't speak for the industry.
Worldwide leader.
I'm not here to take shots, but I find it hard to believe that 8 executives, I've worked there, you've worked there, nothing is decided by a single person. That 8 people sat in a room and not a single person said, do we want to create a story from nothing? Like, nobody raised a hand. Like, that's what leaders do in a room. They go, guys, nobody's going to mention this, so why would we create, given the sense that we've leaned left?
They're controlled by Twitter, and they had these fantasies of this Twitter backlash that was coming, and so they wanted to head off a Twitter backlash, and they created a Twitter backlash, and I'm sure they've been in nonstop round-the-clock meetings wondering how to dig out from underneath this Twitter backlash. Don't worry about Twitter. Try that.
I don't think this is too that the media has gotten too PC. I think it's always been politically correct to some extent. I think this is just reactionary. As you said, this is way too reactionary. You talked about the 8 people sitting in a room. You can't believe someone didn't hold up their hand and say, you know, wait a minute, do we really want to do this, or we're going too far? I don't think they did that meeting when they were talking about the auction a couple of days ago. Like, what's happening with the Times right now? No one raised their hands and said, guys, do we think we should be auctioning off a black guy right now, even if it is fantasy football? And because they got the backlash from that, they jumped out on this one. That's what I'm saying. It's just a reactionary
thing. About that backlash.
I think reactionary is the perfect word. Guys, this was discussed on the Today Show this morning. In the first hour, Matt Lauer just telling hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of housewives what's going on. They had a poll. 97% of the people from the Today Show that disagree with ESPN's decision. I think that's kind of a bad sign, wouldn't you?
It's a terrible sign, and Eric, I'll just say this. They shouldn't have worried about their fantasy football draft and some people being upset. There's this promise that some people have been made that in America you're never going to hear anything that upsets you. Was that part of the Constitution? You'll never hear anything that upsets you? That wasn't part of my expectations for America. I hear fat jokes and all kinds of jokes all the time. My life is great.
Listen, here, just ESPN's lucky there's no Confederate generals named Herb Street. That to take him off a game? Oh, boy. See you tomorrow.
And my name's not Jefferson.
Hi there, and welcome into this special Women in Wheels edition of NASCAR Race Hub. I'm Shannon Spake, and the show is presented by Sonic. So one of my mottos and something I truly believe in is that hard work is genderless. And today is going to be an hour-long example of just that. We're going to talk to and hear from some of the most successful women in motorsports, hearing their journeys and celebrating their accomplishments. So let's get it started.
Hey there, welcome in to this very special edition of NASCAR Race Hub. I'm Adam Alexander. I've got to be the luckiest guy in television moderating this panel today. Shannon, great open. Love your words there. And I know you and I usually share this stage, but today you're in more of an analyst role, so we look forward to hearing from you in that capacity here today. Jamie Little, also with us from Fox Sports. Great to see you back in the Race Hub studios. And the rest of our panel today, Kelly Earnhardt Miller is here, and she is, of course, the co-owner at Junior Motorsports. Happy to have you on the show. Lisa Smokestead, tire specialist for many years at Hendrick Motorsports, no doubt a veteran in the NASCAR community.
Our driver today, young Haley Deegan, only 16 years old, but handles herself so well, a part of the NASCAR Next program, and off-road truck champ, and also Alba Colon, the program director at Chevrolet. Thank each of you for coming in and being a part of this very special program as we celebrate women in NASCAR. And as we start our opening conversation, Shannon, I want to begin with you because you and I have talked a lot about the role that women play in sports and in NASCAR. What's the one question you get about being a female in a male-dominated sport?
Most recently, it's how difficult it is to work with Adam Alexander. That's the one question I get now. But
it's also the biggest challenge.
Yes. But long term, I mean, big picture, really, since I started in this sport, is what is it like to be a woman in a male-dominated sport? And I always tell people that I think the question's slightly antiquated because, yes, while the faces on the racetrack are mostly men, as you see up here, there are so many women. I cover other sports, and this is a sport that's unlike any other one because from PR people to reporters to team owners to people that are going over the wall in the cars, there are so many women in this sport, women that we can really turn to and use as examples. But I know, Lisa, like you work in the shop, truly around, I would say, more men than most of us.
Yeah, the first question I hear is the same that you said, so I second everything you said there. But also, the next question that follows that up is how do I get involved in the sport as well? So that's pretty interesting because I always say it's grassroots. Go out to your local short track and hang out.
The question that I always seem to get, I mean, all the time, why NASCAR? Why racing? And it's like, well, what am I supposed to do, just fashion TV? People are always really intrigued. Like, how did you find your way? When people learn I was raised by a single mom and only child, well, how the heck does a girl like you love racing? And I'm like, let me tell you something. It's a great world we live in and work in, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
You're great at fashion, too, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to try my best.
Alba, what about you? What's the one question you always get?
You know, I get the questions that they get, of course, but there are two that come to mind also, and it's about, are you an engineer? You know, they don't believe that you're an engineer and the kind of job that you are doing, of course. And the other one is a little bit funny. They said, if you were not working at Chevrolet, would you really be driving a Chevrolet, or do you drive a Chevrolet? And, of course, I said, you bet. I have a Corvette that I love, okay, and I love the company, and I believe in the company. But we get those same questions that they are getting. Everybody wants to know how they get in the sport. And, again, how do you make it in the sport?
Yeah. For me, I think being on the business side, it's interesting to me. I usually get the first question I'm asked is something competition related. So what do you think about the new rule in XYZ?
I love that, by the way.
And I say, hey, don't forget, I'm on the business side of things here. But I did have my hand driving race cars at one time, but they've changed quite a bit since then.
Now, at 16, I'm guessing you ask a lot of questions. Maybe you don't get as many questions, but you are really showing the way for a lot of younger girls that someday want to drive a race car. What kind of questions are you getting out there, Haley?
I think the question that I mostly get is it hard racing against guys? Which I see myself as another driver. No one even knows I'm a girl until I get out of my car. My car just looks like everyone else's car. It's not like pink, bright pink sparkles. It's like black, green, gray. It's like no one even knows. And when I come out, they're kind of shocked. They get more of the confused look than like the wow. It's like, what's going on? They're like, is that a girl? And I just love that feeling, though.
So many women making their way into NASCAR, but that community is still fairly small when you look at the number of men that play a role in the sport. Jamie, what bond do women share, and how together are you ladies, because you know that we've got to hang together to continue the growth?
Well, it's funny. I mean, coming up through the ranks through Supercross, there really wasn't another woman out there, and that's why, partially why I wanted to do what I do, because I wanted to be a voice for the women who are fans like I was. And now that I'm in the NASCAR garage, it's funny. I look at all of you. We see each other, but we don't have time to stop and talk because we've got a big job. But the one thing that bonds us is racing and what we're doing. So when we walk in just now getting our hair and makeup done, to see you guys, you automatically have that close bond like, hey, I got you. We we understand each other and why we're here, and we must be pretty tough chicks to be here.
Yeah, but, you know, we're all so busy. I mean, people forget, like, we're in the garage and we're working, right? That's why we don't stop and say hello to each other, I think, on a daily basis. But when one of us need the other one, or if we have a question, I mean, Kelly, we've talked about this on your podcast before. We have so many women that we can turn to. Jamie and I, we've been in this industry. We started back in 2007. And, I mean, my goodness, if we have been there for each other and shared some things that I don't think I could have done alone, you know, in any industry. And so I think that is a unique thing, is we all don't hang out with each other all the time, but we know that each other is there for each other if we need one another.
I think it's kind of cool, too, that because we are in the minority in our sport and the group is smaller, we do have that comfort level and that bond that we can lean on each other. And we're a special group of women in this sport doing really cool things, really awesome things. And to have each other to lean on, you know, the group of guys is much larger. It's a much bigger pond out there, and we have a little bit smaller pond that we can lean on each other and take notes and encourage each other and help each other and, you know, be really proud of each other when we see each other.
Build each other up, for sure.
Build each other up in the things that we've accomplished and seen.
Alba, what's the biggest challenge to be a female and go out and find success in NASCAR right now?
Well, no, you know, when I started the sport, it was a little bit different, and now, you know, we see so many females. It's not only who we have here, but all the other females that we have. You know, an example when Andrea, you know, that is with another team, with another competitor, but when she did so great, I was so happy, and I went immediately to congratulate her because I know what it feels to be in that role. You know, but aside of that, there are so many other things. Like an example, we just finished designing a new Camaro ZL1 for the next year. That's a huge challenge. Doesn't matter you are a guy or a girl, you know, it's a big challenge and you get it. And, you know, at the end of the day, we all have the same challenges that the guys have, you know, and we are here to work hard, and we have the same goal that the guys have. We are here to compete, to win, and to go ahead. So,
what about for you, Lisa? What's the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge is physical on my end of the job as far as tires and everything, but the travel is definitely a challenge too. I have a family now. I have a daughter and a husband who travels as well. So touching on what you were speaking on earlier, the village that we have, like instantly, a lot of my travel now is last minute, and a lot of my fellow women will jump in and help with Rayella when it's time for me to go on the road.
Haley, I want to go to you on this first. I think about the success that Danica Patrick has been able to have and what she brings to the sport from a notoriety perspective when you think about women in NASCAR. How important, Haley, do you think it is for yourself and other women to grow on the driver's side because of how much we focus on the drivers and the light seems to always shine on that side of the sport?
Yeah, I think being a girl coming into racing, seeing Danica come up, she's such an inspiration for me. You can't name one other girl that's made it the way she has. And I think she's one of my key people who I want to be like when I get older. And I think being a girl in racing, you have to earn the people's respect. I think my biggest challenge is earning the respect of other drivers. You come in, they're just like, oh, it's just another girl trying to race, just someone else. But then you start running up front, and you're earning the respect of people. But that's the biggest challenge for me.
I think that's across the board, though. Alba, and I've heard you say before, it takes a lot of hard work to earn the respect, and it takes time. So I think that's across the board. I think you're in a unique perspective because you are around all of the men. There's not a lot of female race car drivers that you can kind of pull from, but it's hard work, and it's pushing forward, and it's staying the course.
And I think when you're an outsider and you step into the NASCAR garage like Shannon and I were, it takes twice as long, I think. If you put us side by side with a male reporter or, you know, analyst, whatever, you walk into the garage, the man is going to be taken a little more seriously than a woman in that same role. And that's how we found our way here. But once you get that respect, you have that credibility, you're in.
Yeah.
What a great opening conversation there. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And when this special edition of NASCAR Race Up continues, we visit with Jody Geschichter, co-owner of the 47 and 37 Cup cars in NASCAR. Today, it's Women in Wheels on NASCAR Race Up.
I understand that I'm the only female, but I don't think too much about it. I don't see myself any differently than say my husband.
our lifetime. This is more than just a fight. This fight's gonna be something. Let me show you what a $100 million fighter looks like. I don't fear him. I'm the best.
Weigh-ins Friday on FS1. Prelims Saturday on Fox.
This bud's for the dream and the people bold enough to pursue it. For those who come from nothing and rise to something. It's for those who take everything this country has to offer and make it their own.
If only this were as easy as saving $600 when you switch to Progressive. Winds stirring, too treacherous for a selfie. Sure, I've taken discounts to new heights with safe driver and paperless billing, but the price at the top is worth every last breath. Here we go. Got him. Wait a minute. Whole wheat waffles?
Baseball Buzz, Wednesday, August 23rd. Hot Corner with Chris Bryant.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite vacation spot?
Hawaii.
Favorite TV show?
Friday Night Lights.
Favorite superhero?
Batman.
Waffles or pancakes?
Pancakes.
Favorite road ballpark?
Petco Park.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Secret talent?
Guitar? That was
Right.
20 seconds?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Love it, shop it, own it. eBay Fashions.
These are Domino's all-new Parmesan-dusted, garlic-seasoned, and cinnamon-sprinkled bread twists. How did we come up with such a clever name? We'll never tell. Choose any two of Domino's new bread twists or medium two-topping pizzas for $5.99 each.
As King Midas, I expect a lifetime guarantee. And so should you. On struts, brakes, shocks.
Does he turn everything to gold?
Not everything.
At Midas, we're always a touch better. Book an appointment at Midas.com.
Delicious, refreshing, Pepsi.
Changing your oil after 3,000 miles?
Kevin Harvick.
If you'd use new Mobile One annual protection, you wouldn't have to. You protect your engine for 1 year with just one oil change.
Don't change your oil. New Mobile One Annual Protection.
Welcome back to the special edition of NASCAR Race Hub as we continue to highlight females in NASCAR. You know all about our Women in Wheels segment. A few of the ladies that we have featured in the past are with us on the show today. And everyone knows NASCAR is a team sport. That is very true at JTG Doherty Racing. There is the race team, and then there is the husband-wife team of co-owners Tad and Jody Geschechter. This operation came from humble beginnings, and for Jody, incredible sacrifice. Here is Caitlin Vincey with a woman who does it all.
Let's kind of start at the beginning of how you and your husband first began this whole venture in NASCAR.
The first race shop was our partner's chicken house, and there was a little office in the front, and then there were some race cars in the back.
I think I read that sometimes when you'd be on the phone, you were worried people could hear the chickens in the background.
Yeah, you really could. You could hear the chickens from the ductwork, and I was constantly worried that that would be overheard as I called corporate America.
So this is the Busch Series, former Busch Series at the time. What was that kind of learning curve like for you guys?
It really hasn't changed. It's still challenging. Every single day is challenging, but the challenges are different, and they're grander and at a much larger scale. We started out with 8 people, and took a lot of risks.
And you were pulling double duty as a flight attendant as well at the time. What was that whole balance like for you?
It was tough to be a flight attendant and then also run the race shop. So I was generally at the race shop Monday through Friday, and then I would work with U.S. Air during the weekend. My primary role involves people, health issues, insurance, anything really that focuses on our people, I usually tend to see and hear about.
And working with your partner, that's a unique dynamic. Working with your husband, what has that been like? You guys always get along?
Well, oh yeah, we always get along. Ask around, we do. Well, it's a different dynamic because Tad and I each bring different aspects to the race team. We have different strengths and weaknesses, and I think we compensate each other very well. He tends to be a visionary, a big picture person.
Okay.
And I'm hyper detail, which just drives him crazy. But it's really good. And together, I think we put on a pretty good program day to day here.
Bring it to me, baby. Bring it to me.
AJ comes to the line. He'll score his first career win in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series.
How was that a big moment for this organization, that win?
It was the culmination of all of our efforts. I guess the hard part was it takes so long to get there, and then it's over. And I do look back now and I think on our next time, there are things I'm going to do differently. I'm going to take a little bit more time with the guys, with the team, to just sit down in victory circle and just savor that moment.
Like enjoy it, yeah.
Yes, to just enjoy it because it's over so fast.
Here's JTG Doherty 1-2. I think it's pretty exciting. Just that he's leaving the race.
And you've had an expansion this year to 2 cars. How has that process been for you guys? Have you experienced any growing pains with it, or has it been pretty seamless?
Well, it's been challenging.
I'm sure it's rewarding at the same time as challenging.
It is. It's very rewarding to see our cars on the track every week, and it's very rewarding from a human standpoint to be able to provide a positive place for people to work and a way to provide for their families.
And you feel like you've always had the respect as well of everybody else in the garage?
I think so, especially because I feel like I have more respect just from the longevity. I feel like we're fighters and we're survivors. We're here, and a lot of people are not.
What would be your words of encouragement to other women who are looking to do something similar?
Would I encourage them? Well, I would tell them not to quit, not to be afraid, to surround themselves with people that they trust, and go on their instincts. They just can't quit.
Isn't Jody great? I mean, just such good energy, which it requires if you're going to be an owner in NASCAR. But she's got to work with Tad, her spouse, all the time. I guess they find a way to balance that. And you know what that's like because LW plays such a huge role at junior motorsports. How do you find the time to set aside work and have a personal life, Kelly?
It can be pretty tough, and I like what Jody said. She and Tad are very different. LW and I are very much alike, and that works for us. We're both type A personalities, into the details and all that good stuff. But our kids usually at dinner time and when we come home in the evening are like, oh, do y'all have to talk about junior motorsports again? And sometimes you forget, you know, and we do have to say to each other, let's turn it off. We can talk about that tomorrow. Sort of prioritize, you know, let's talk about that during business hours. It can also be a little offensive when you hear that, or I tell my husband that, you know, I don't want to talk to you about that till tomorrow.
All right, show of hands, who's a type A? I mean, everyone on the camera, yeah, all of the women in here. I saw you shaking your head when Jody said that she wanted to enjoy it a little more next time. And I think in being a woman, people always ask me about having a family and a marriage and a career and having to do it all. I think you do sacrifice little moments and do sacrifice enjoying it because there's so much to do. And I think it's a little bit more of a level of sacrifice in this industry because of the time It's so time-consuming. So how do you manage it all?
Yeah, definitely. You know, she referenced, I mean, as soon as we win on a Saturday or Sunday, Monday, you're back to figuring out how to win again the next weekend, you know. So we don't take a lot of time to relish in those victories, and they're so hard to get. But at home, I mean, it takes a village of people to help you out. You have to say no. That's one big thing that I've had to learn over the years is just saying no to certain things and not making myself available for everything. You know, women, we're typically the household managers, you know, and not to take anything away from them. I'm sure.
I know someone that manages our house, and it's not me.
True.
And so, you know, that list of responsibilities of what, you know, this morning, just in today's work, I've sent my kid off to kindergarten. You know, I've got my kid's phone fixed. We're working on a broken windshield. I'm doing my day job. I'm here. You know, it's a lot to balance.
And, you know, that's one of the questions that I get. So when you're gone every weekend chasing race cars, who's taking care of your kids? And when I say my husband, they look at me cross-eyed like, what do you mean you leave your kids with your husband? Well, that is just...
Sorry, Cody.
That's what they would say at my house, too.
And you got to know my husband, right? Well, he understands and loves racing. He worked in it for a long time, but that's a sacrifice that he's had to make, is taking the back seat from corporate America to take care of our family so that I can live my dream and continue to go all over the country chasing NASCAR. So it takes a lot of sacrifice on both sides, and I couldn't do what I do without my husband and his capability of running our home.
What kind of advice do you give to Carson, being a woman coming up in this industry?
You know, I just tell her to be herself and to, you know, keep the expectations at her own personal goals and those expectations at a level that she can manage, not to get in over her head. She's 16. She still wants to be a teenager, and she doesn't have to accomplish everything right today. You know, there's plenty of time in life and to enjoy what teenagers can enjoy, but to always put her best foot forward is the best thing I can tell her.
Well, she's got a great woman to look at in that living room every night at that kitchen table. A lot of good advice. Write a book soon. Coming up, more of our special all-female edition of NASCAR Race Hub. And there's one woman who's involved with just about every big decision that NASCAR makes, and that's NASCAR's Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer, Jill Gregory. I cannot wait to hear what she has to say about her role in everything NASCAR. Stay tuned. It's next.
How have you seen social media kind of change this sport quite a bit over the last couple of years?
The great thing about NASCAR is that our drivers have always been pretty accessible. You know, I don't know of any other sport where you can stand next to a player when they're getting ready to go. But, you know, fans are right next to the cars and next to the drivers when they're getting ready to start a race.
This is the biggest sporting event of our lifetime.
Mayweather-McGregor Prelim starts Saturday on Fox, featuring top welterweight challenger Yordenis Ugas.
Big right hand.
Taking on Thomas Delorme.
Oh, big punch. This fight's gonna be something.
Mayweather-McGregor Prelims, Saturday on Fox.
Nick was born to move. Not necessarily after 3 toddlers with boundless energy. But lower back pain won't stop him from keeping up. Because at a Dr. Scholl's kiosk, he got a recommendation for our best custom-fit orthotic to relieve his foot, knee, or lower back pain from being on his feet by reducing shock and stress on his body with every step. So look out, world. Dad's taking charge. Dr. Scholl's, born to move.
Howdy. Hey. Here we go. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
That's not your car.
Car's ready.
Wrong car.
Isn't that your car?
I would love to take it, but no.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. You guys want to check it out?
Someone else's car.
This is beautiful. What is this?
It's the all-new Chevy Equinox. This feels like a luxury SUV.
I love this little 360. How do they even do that?
I made a bad decision on my last car purchase.
Well, your car's here.
Bummer. Bummer.
Wah, wah. I'm ready for an upgrade.
Life's full of obligations. Work starts on a Monday, whether you are ready or not. And those bills are not going to pay themselves. But isn't life about making choices? So why not choose freedom? Freedom to go anywhere and do anything. Where would you go? What would you discover? Imagine the possibilities. Start your journey with a travel trailer for only $115 a month during the summer RV sale. Visit campingworld.com today.
This Labor Day weekend, college football is back. Maryland versus Texas on FS1. Texas A&M, UCLA on Fox.
One little joint supplement. You know this powerful little pill is great for your joints,
It's great for your knees. It even has powerful benefits to help increase your mobility and flexibility. But the joint supplements of today are sadly incomplete because they don't start relieving joint discomfort fast enough. Introducing the complimentary sample of fast-acting Instaflex Advanced, our most powerful joint formula ever. The only thing our complimentary sample of Instaflex Advanced is missing is the price. We're so sure Instaflex Advanced will give you fast relief. We'll give you a complimentary sample. To claim your sample, text JOINT to 42424. Instaflex Advanced is great for fast-acting relief of discomfort in your aching knees and joints. Get a complimentary sample now by texting JOINT to 42424. Instaflex Advanced samples are not available in stores, so text JOINT to 42424 now.
Welcome back to this special edition of NASCAR Race Hub as we focus on the women in NASCAR. Next up, Jill Gregory, Chief Marketing Officer at NASCAR. So many changes in the sport in recent years as NASCAR continues its growth and lays out their vision for the future. Jill has had a front row seat for it all. Here's Caitlin Vincent.
So walk me through kind of your path to NASCAR. What sort of has led you to where you are today?
It's been a long journey, probably one that was a little bit unexpected. I think, growing up in California, if you would ask me coming out of college or starting my career, if I were to be in marketing at NASCAR, it probably would have been a long shot. Not something I expected, but, I was able to really look at all the opportunities that came my way and capitalize on those and move on to new positions. So I've had experience with the agency side of things, always in sports marketing. I moved to the corporate side with Nextel and Sprint, and that's where I really got embedded into NASCAR.
Now, you spearhead a lot of the social media efforts with NASCAR. How have you seen social media kind of change this sport quite a bit over the last couple of years?
The great thing about NASCAR is that our drivers have always been pretty accessible. I don't know of any other sport where you can stand next to a player when they're getting ready to go onto the field or onto the court, and you see a lot of drivers have used it to show fans their personalities and kind of give them a peek, behind the curtain on what's happening in their lives when they're not at the racetrack. So for us, I think it's easy to kind of see the driver and the crews kind of in their uniforms or, underneath the helmet, but this kind of allows people a peek to see what some of the folks in the industry are really like.
And you mentioned the driver development program, also you're a big part of that. How have you seen some of these different personalities coming through the sport?
I think it's one of the most exciting things about this season, or even the past couple of seasons, is seeing these young drivers really kind of come into their own and win races and challenge the veterans.
These young drivers are talented, they are fearless, and they are here to stay.
It's no accident that the NASCAR Next program has produced some of the most talented names in NASCAR.
So you look at someone like Kyle Larson, you look at Ryan Blaney winning, William Byron, you've got all of this young talent, and they're challenging the veterans who are champions. They're challenging the Jimmy Johnsons and Kyle Bushes of the world, and it's great to see, and the fans, I think, are benefiting from that.
So in 2016, you were named the CMO.
News tonight from NASCAR, Jill Gregory will take over as Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer.
I think you learn it's a big deal when, it's in the local paper at home and your mom and dad send it to you or something like that. I don't look at different accomplishments or, different moments like that. I just kind of come do the job and let the rest take care of itself. And so I think that it was a nice testament to all the work that we've been doing as a team, just to constantly, challenge ourselves and reach the fans better, listen to them, and do different things. And so I think that it was just a nice recognition of that, but it's really about the team that works here and that comes to the office or to the track every day trying to make NASCAR better and the best it can be.
So were there any challenges or hurdles for you along the way, being a female, to get where you are today?
Early in my career, there are some challenges, not necessarily being a female, although I think one of the challenges you have is you don't have a lot of role models. Look around the garage, you see more and more women in these top positions, but I think we still have some work to do. So I definitely look for chances to find the strong women and give them the support they need to do a good job. You know, we did an event in Daytona at the 500 this year where Lisa Kennedy hosted it, and we brought in all the different women that work at NASCAR. And it was really amazing to see how many there were and how good they were at their jobs and the visibility that they had. So, but you didn't really all put them in the same room, because I don't think we look at it as, hey, I'm a woman doing this job. You just get in there and get the job done, and you hope that speaks for itself.
So we've kind of walked through the different things you've been a part of here with NASCAR, but what's kind of maybe the lasting impact you would like to leave on the sport?
I think that if you look back on this time in NASCAR and what we've been doing over the past couple of years, it's been a time of tremendous change. It would be great to look back on this time and know that I was a part of a team that wasn't afraid to challenge ourselves, tried different things, but all under the goal of making NASCAR racing the best racing in the world. And these drivers are the best drivers in the world, and being able to look back and say, wow, we really worked hard to push the envelope and make the sport bigger and better, I could feel pretty proud about that.
Listening to Jill talk, I think about the word vision, her vision for herself and her career, and also her vision for the future of NASCAR. She is an executive, Alba is an executive, but you're also an educator. How have you used your platform to give back, Alba?
Thank you for that question. One thing that I learned, there was a lot of people that helped me to get where I am here today, not only my parents, mentors, many other people in the sport. And for me, it's very important to give back. And I have made a mission of mine, when not only when I am at the track, but outside of the track, to go and talk to younger kids, and talk to them about careers, about how important education is, in that way they can go and get to do a job like I am doing today. I not only do it with, with little boys and girls, I do it also especially for me, the Hispanic market, and also in my country. Because, one thing, I will not be here doing this forever, and I want somebody else, to educate somebody and tell them, hey, you can do what I'm doing today, what you're doing, what everybody else is doing. So we need to help the next generation.
I love that, because I think Jamie and I, we live by that in the garage. And in that piece, Jill Gregory mentioned how she got a bunch of the women together at Daytona, and we thought that this would be really interesting. Take a look at all of the women in public relations. So these are all in the Monster Energy Cup Series. These are all women that basically call the shots and do everything for the Cup drivers. I would say arguably, besides their girlfriend or wife, probably the most important person in some of these drivers' lives. And you see just women, yeah, it's just women all over. But Alba, I was wondering, you're at the top level, and we all have to do our jobs every single week. But do you feel like women are under a bigger microscope than the men?
I would love to say someday no, but yes, let's be honest. Yes, we are. And I remember when I came to the sport and I went to my first test, and Dale Earnhardt Sr. told me, I don't give you more than a year here. I remember that. Yes, he said that. But one thing, I took that as a challenge. Absolutely. You know what? I am going to show you I am for real and what I'm doing here. Later, several years later, he said, oh, I knew you were going to do it, Sure.
And there you are with Dale Sr., and you stood on the stage when he won the championship. So you guys really built a bond, and you're still here in the sport all these years later.
No,
because of it.
Absolutely. I will tell you one thing. When I came here to United States, to GM, I thought that I would be in the sport only 1 year. I have been more than one. Let's not say which how many, okay? No, but the deal is, this is home for me. This is home, and everything that we have been able to build, everything that we have been able to accomplish as a team, not only, with Chevrolet, but also with the sport. I am very proud of the family that I am part of.
We're very happy to have you a part of the NASCAR family. Great stuff today.
Thank
When we continue, we are heading into the garage. Going over the wall and servicing a stock car isn't an easy job. However, Brianna Daniels isn't backing down from the challenge. We tell her story when the special edition of The Hub continues.
I feel like, anything a man can do, a female can do. So I just feel like it's a great thing to see more women in a tough sport, a male-dominated sport such as this one, in NASCAR.
It's a winner-take-all fight for the Big 3 Championship, live on Fox.
Big 3. Man, this is real basketball. Yeah. This is what the world been waiting for.
trilogy. For Big 3 supremacy. Live Saturday at 4:30 Eastern.
Big 3 on Fox.
Real meal for $5. 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 Finger licking, finger licking, finger licking.
I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck. Though you make my heart a wreck, make my heart a wreck, and you make my life a mess, make my life a mess, yes, a mess of happiness.
While other insurance companies just see a house, we see the home you've worked really hard for. So why not give it the protection it deserves?
Changing your oil after 3,000 miles?
Kevin Harvick.
If you'd use new Mobil 1 annual protection, you wouldn't have to. You protect your engine for 1 year with just one oil change.
Don't change your oil. New Mobil 1 annual protection.
This is a payday bar. It has a truckload of peanuts and a caramel core that gets the job done. It's 10.5 centimeters of awesome, unless you get the king size, which is 14.7 centimeters of, oh yeah. Payday. Get to it.
What's up, guys? We're Dude Perfect. Make sure you check out Bass Pro Shop's Fall Hunting Classic, the biggest hunting show and sale of the year.
Hey, it's time for great deals on great gear. Plus, weekends during the Classic, you can get up to a $100 instant rebate on select gear when you purchase with your Bass Pro Shop's MasterCard.
This is what I feel like when I wear regular shoes, cramped and uncomfortable.
Mr. Long, you've been upgraded.
Which is why I wear Skechers wide fit shoes. It's like first class for your feet. Try Skechers wide fit with air-cooled memory foam.
Pizza with Pepsi. Delicious.
As King Midas, I expect a lifetime guarantee. And so should you. On struts, brakes, shocks.
Does he turn everything to gold?
Not everything.
At Midas, we're always a touch better. Book an appointment at Midas.com.
This Labor Day weekend, Maryland faces a tough test in the heart of Texas. Then Texas A&M battles UCLA. College football is back on FS1 and Fox. Every game is everything.
Good to have you with us on this special edition of NASCAR Race Hub. If you are going to make it to the top in any sport, you must have commitment, dedication, and a true belief in yourself. For Brianna Daniels, she has that and so much more. So when NASCAR teams came calling for college athletes who could make the transition to pit crew member, Brianna said, "Sign me up." And she's been blazing a trail ever since. Once again, here's Caitlin Vincent.
Brianna Daniels now pushes the ball to court. Daniels dribbles, drives, and scores. NSU takes the lead.
So NASCAR showed up to your campus, and did you just kind of attend the auditions on a whim?
You know, I ended up going out there, you know, to the tryout. I was the only girl. Coach Horton, he was like, you know, if you guys do good today, you'll get a call back and get invited to the National NASCAR Drive for Diversity Pit Crew Combine that they held here in Charlotte. If you make it in the top 10, you'll be able to come back and train professionally, and I made it in the top 10.
So what did you think when you got the call to hear you'd made it to the top 10? Were you pretty pumped up about that?
I was excited, even though I'm like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. I was ready to try something new.
And similar to with drivers, here with the Drive for Diversity program, they kind of take their time with you guys and move you up gradually so that you can really be ready for that next level?
Yes, they do. So, of course, you know, we have practice each and every day, and we're judged in that practice. Mm-hmm. So, you know, me being a tire changer, I have to have a certain time in order to go to the track. The better I get in practice, the quicker I could move up.
And this season, you got to compete in your first race. What was that like? Where were your nerves compared to like how you feel when you're on the court?
You know, I just really tuned in, making sure like I had everything right that, you know, I needed to do. Because I knew I was going to make history that weekend by becoming the first African-American female tire changer in NASCAR.
I know you have a close relationship with your dad. What does he think about everything that you're doing now?
You know, when I first got into it, I watched the wrong videos popped up on YouTube, like the pit stop fails.
Oh, no. Don't learn from those.
And I think I was watching it with my dad, too. He's like, Brianna, you know, this is really dangerous. And I was like, Dad, a lot of stuff is dangerous. And, of course, I'm going to try to be careful.
Who is someone else who's been kind of a mentor to you or who's kind of helped you with this new chosen career path you have for yourself?
And Coach Horton, I just want to thank him for bringing me into the Drive for Diversity program. You know, it gives people of different ethnicities and colors to all come together in one sport to join as one. You know, and it's great seeing, you know, when I go to the track, seeing everyone treat each other like their brother or their sister.
What a great smile and attitude. Show of hands if you think she's going to make it over the wall in NASCAR. Absolutely.
Got some muscles.
Strong girl. Strong girl.
And you look at Brianna, and not just a female breaking down a barrier there, but also African American. And in the last segment, Alba, you were talking about the importance for you to help Hispanics make it in NASCAR. How have you seen diversity grow in the sport since you've been around?
Imagine, you know, when I came here, there was, you know, pretty much I was one of the few females, Hispanic engineers and so on. And to see how everything has changed is amazing. She mentioned that the diversity, you know, the Drive for Diversity program also for the crews. I have seen also the tracks that we're visiting today. It has changed completely from before. You see more race fans, you know, that look like me and look, you know, like others. We are looking more like what is America. And I always say, for every business to, you know, to improve and so on, you need a lot of diversity, but diversity of thought. That's what is key for me, to bring different people to make things happen, to continue with the business and so on. And we have grown a lot. In the Chevrolet side, we have a scholarship that is for people that want to go and study STEM careers, and we do it through NASCAR also, inspiring other people, you know, to come to the sport and keep growing.
And Lisa, you came into the sport back in 1999. How much has the landscape changed from your perspective as part of a pit crew?
The first year on the Truck Series, I started with Jack Sprague and Dennis Connors, my crew chief, who are two hard-nosed, like, get-her-done kind of people. And I was the only female there. I think I didn't notice as much until I started getting in the garage. And now this year, coming back to several races, seeing that we've really expanded and taken in a lot more roles, too, not just tire specialists. There's another tire specialist, female, in the Cup Series, and I've seen a lot in the Truck and Busch Series as well. So it's pretty exciting. It has changed a lot.
What do you think is the biggest challenge for you in this role, being a woman?
As far as a tire specialist, I think the physical role is the most challenging. I don't get rattled a lot, so there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of last-minute changes, and none of that really gets to me. I think that's why I stayed as long as I have, because it is a high-pressure situation. The physical, demanding part of the job, lifting tires every day, and, you know, 15 sets at 63 pounds, and I'm not the biggest person in America, so that probably is it.
When I go outside of the driver's cockpit and I start thinking about women in NASCAR, and then the ultimate is to have a woman atop the pit box calling the shots as a crew chief. You mentioned Andrea Mueller earlier. How special would it be to see a woman as a crew chief at NASCAR's top level?
I'll tell you, when they named her the head engineer, I was like, oh, that's going to be it. We're going to see it. And I really think that we have a different demeanor, too, under pressure, a female. And I know, you know, we can do the job good, but I think there is a calming. And I've watched Andrea and been a big cheerleader for her. It's going to be fun to see. She might be it.
She has a large cheerleading section because all of us women are watching her and are so proud of what she's been able to accomplish. All right, so we've talked about on pit road, in the hauler, in the management position. We haven't talked about a woman on the racetrack. As we know, Danica Patrick is the only female racing in the NASCAR Cup Series, but she is something much, much more to many young girls out there. Up next, we're going to look in on what makes her such an inspiration to so many female fans.
Give me one word that you would use to describe Danica Patrick.
Inspiring, brave, athletic, role model.
The famously flippable, often imitated, never duplicated Dairy Queen Blizzard. There's absolutely nothing like it, unless There's two. Right now, buy your favorite Blizzard and get another for just 99 cents. That's buy one, get one for 99 cents.
As King Midas, I expect a lifetime guarantee. And so should you. On struts, brakes, shocks.
Does he turn everything to gold?
Not everything.
At Midas, we're always a touch better. Book an appointment at Midas.com.
Please, help!
The running of the bold dogs? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Aaliyah saved by switching to Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
What's up, guys? We're Dude Perfect. Make sure you check out Bass Pro Shop's Fall Hunting Classic, the biggest hunting show and sale of the year.
Hey, it's time for great deals on great gear. Plus, weekends during the Classic, you can get up to a $100 instant rebate on select gear when you purchase with your Bass Pro Shop's MasterCard.
What's more irresistible than getting a large mouth-watering pizza Hut pizza with 2 of your favorite toppings for just $7.99? Having it delivered right to your door. Enjoy the best $7.99 large pizza delivery deal when you order online, because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Oh my gosh, that's Frank Thomas. No. Yes, that's him. Go ahead. Excuse me, are you Frank Thomas?
Yes, I am.
I bet you get recognized a lot.
I was a pretty good ball player.
You were?
Some people thought so.
Sorry, we recognize you from those Nugenics commercials.
Oh, yeah? That's great.
So does Nugenics really work?
Oh, yeah. I really can feel the difference. My workouts are better, and I feel a lot more energetic.
I wish my husband would use Nugenics.
It's so easy to get started. All you have to do is send one simple text.
Text 42424 and enter IDEA for a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Its unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate.
And you're going to like the difference, too.
Text 42424